Galactus is rumored to be after Franklin Richards in Fantastic Four First Steps.
Galactus the Cloud?
No, the real Galactus, dude.
Okay.
A celestial, giant-looking motherfucker whose head's the size of skyscrapers. I am ready to see the Batman beat the living shit out of Oz. Fuck you, Oz. I'm ready, bro.
You were useful.
Yeah.
You were a good dog. But it's time to put
It's
you
time,
down,
bro.
Dude, I mean, you're just doing too much now.
He goes, couple hours a week. Tell me you've never set foot on a film set. Oh, excuse me, Martin Scorsese. Tell me you've never set. Anyways.
Well, first of all, I never stepped foot
no.
on a movie set.
We've said this several times. We are not experts. We are only fans.
Right.
Well, no, not.
Yeah, might want to change that.
No, yeah, we're just fans. I've never even seen the first Gladiator. You seen it?
What kind of human
are you?
Dang,
he gave me this look of disdain over there. Holy shit. I should be ashamed of myself.
God, dude.
Oh, damn. The Multiverse Saga has not been a failure.
All
right. Welcome to Only Comics. I'm Mike. This is Adrian.
What up? Good morning.
What's up, bro?
Another lovely day in the neighborhood, baby.
Dude, this weather's not gonna break, bro. It's false fighting.
Dude, I'm walking in Michael Jackson shoes. You know when he leans over, the wind is so bad, dude. It's like I've never seen a time. Well, I can't remember a time when it's been this windy for this long.
True.
Just straight, like every day, just windy.
And no rain, dude. It's like we're in a drought over here.
Well, it rained a little bit, like real early morning, one day last week, but I'm glad because with the leaves down, I'm trying to wait till all the trees just go naked.
Dude,
so
there's
I don't have to go back out there again.
There's like 2 trees in my yard that are just they're just holding on, dude. There's one that hasn't not one leaf has dropped, and there's another big ass tree where just like half of it.
Right.
Everything else is in my driveway, in my Christmas ornaments, all kinds of shit, dude.
And then the wind, of course, is like blowing all the stuff around. It's like one day you got a pile over here, next day the pile's over here. This side is clean.
Dude, I drive home. I'm like, I think my yard guy came, but no, the wind just blew the shit to the other side of the fucking yard.
Right.
But yeah, that weather's not trying to break, dude. It's gonna be like warm today, almost 70 degrees.
All right.
That's crazy.
Well, but you know what? It's okay.
It is okay.
Because we're going to start your week off right.
That's exactly right, dude. 100%. We're coming in hot this week, Adrian. What does that have to do with comics? Nothing. Nothing at all. Because this is Only Comics, where we discuss comics and only comics.
And sometimes things like we just did.
We call that around here other stuff.
Other stuff.
But I tell you what, there's a lot of news this week. So we're going to hop right into it. And one of the things we're going to get into later is a little bit of Doctor Strange. And this title just... In the Multiverse of Madness. Yeah. Like, first of all, couldn't you just call it Multiverse Madness instead, maybe? Doctor Strange Madness, but whatever. But we're gonna jump back into that movie.
Or how about Doctor Strange 2?
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Oh shit! Fuck. How did you just came up with that?
Yeah, just like that.
Dude, there's people that make like millions that couldn't come up with that. They're like, how do we like extend the name of this so long so that nobody ever says it? But
they riding on the Spider-Man across the multiverse, Spider-Verse coattails.
Oh, that's exactly what it was. And unfortunately, this one wasn't as good as that. But I think this movie gets some unwarranted hate.
Yeah.
I also think I'm going to make a statement, and we're going to come back to this later and see if it's true. I feel like, we have the Infinity Saga, right, in the MCU. That was everything from Iron Man 1 up until, I think, Spider-Man Far From Home. But Endgame's really the kind of end of that. And now we're in this Multiverse Saga. But we're only like halfway through the Multiverse Saga. The Multiverse Saga gets a lot of shit online. People complain, they whine, it's so bad, it's this, it's that. I don't think it's as bad as people paint it out to be. And we're gonna find out if that's true later, so just stay tuned for that. But up next, comic news and rumors. We're gonna kick off with a little Kraven the Hunter, Adrian. Okay. So there's a new trailer supposedly set to be released this week. There was a feature. I didn't watch this feature, but it had Aaron Taylor Johnson kind of doing a deep dive about, what makes this villain so gritty in this movie. And they're describing this movie as a gritty R-rated story, or R-rated gangster story, set to be released in December or December 13th of this year, so about a month away. So a R-rated gangster story. I didn't know. I didn't get that vibe from the first few trailers.
I saw a bunch of animals.
Sure.
Like rhinos and stuff like that. I don't know, where's the gang coming from?
I think it has something to do with Kraven's father, and because I did get that vibe that he was probably in the Russian mob, maybe. I think sometimes, like at least for me, when I hear gangster story, I think Italian mob. But it looks like his family has some kind of tie to some Russian mob. So maybe that's a tie there. But gritty, rated R. I forgot this movie was rated R.
Right.
I think that is perfect for a Kraven the Hunter movie. Hearing that, does it make you more or less interested in this gritty, rated R gangster story?
I think that's a shitty depiction.
Okay.
Because first of all, listen to what you just said. Mob. They didn't say a mob movie or a mobster movie. Why is it a gang movie?
Well, gangster, mobster kind of goes
that's not the same thing. I don't want to get into it, but you know, mobs are reserved for Italians, Russians, anybody else. Gangs are related to what?
Well, I'm
just saying.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. I would push back though. So here's why. Goodfellas. The first line of that movie, Henry Hill says, "All my life, I've always wanted to be a gangster." So it has been used to idolize Italian mob too.
Gangster is different than gang.
That's what I said. Gangster story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, rated R gangster story. So, all right, now that I changed it to gangster story, does that change your perception?
No, but it also doesn't make me less interested or more interested in the movie. I'm pretty excited about it. It looks like it's going to be an engaging movie. However, I mean, we've already seen half the movie in commercials. I mean, now they're gonna drop another one, dude. I mean, what's the point? You guys are killing yourself.
Right. No, it's one of the things who knows, dude? We've seen probably 3 trailers already. Yeah. One thing I will say is every trailer felt like it had a different tone to it, so I don't know if it's one of these they're testing certain shit. We've also seen this recently. Sometimes there's things in trailers that are not actually in the movie.
Right.
You know, so who knows? I was looking into this Kraven the Hunter movie. Like, first of all, why we even got a Kraven the Hunter movie. So I found out that Marvel, Sony, they're trying to incorporate Kraven for a long time. So it started with Sam Raimi, the director of the first 3 Spider-Man movies. He actually directed Multiverse of Madness as well. Or I'm sorry, Doctor Strange Multiverse in Madness.
I think it's Raimi.
Raimi?
Yeah.
I think you're right. Sam Raimi. We'll scrap. Hey, guys, cut that out of the full version. We don't want me saying something that's not accurate around here. Right. So, and you good on coffee? You want these guys to get you another one? Or?
No, I'm good.
You good now? All right. No,
well, the hot chocolate. Anyway.
Sit down. Relax. We just got started. He's fucking. Dude, where you get these guys at, Adrian? So anyway, Sam Raimi. He wanted to incorporate Kraven the Hunter in the 4th Spider-Man movie that never got made. So he made the first 3, right? Spider-Man was rebooted. Amazing Spider-Man with your favorite, Andrew Garfield.
Right. Yep, my favorite.
Yeah, your favorite. Sony announced in December of 2013 that The Amazing Spider-Man 2 was going to kind of establish the shared universe. So they were inspired by the MCU. They wanted to do the same thing. And we saw how much, as Tony Stark would say, they screwed the pooch. So in February of 2015, so fast forward a few years, Sony and Marvel announced a new partnership to co-produce a 4th Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Homecoming, the first one in the MCU. Prior to that, Mark Webb had expressed some interest in seeing Kraven in a potential future Amazing Spider-Man, but Andrew Garfield, unfortunately, got those 2 movies, or unless you're Adrian, that would be fortunately, right? So we never got to see him there. In this early in the early MCU, the studio was also considering a Kraven film for that universe, but then they learned that Sony had rights to that character. This is where it gets all messy, where Sony owns some character, Marvel didn't. This one I kind of wish would have happened. Ryan Coogler, he directed the 2 Black Panther movies, right? He wanted to include that character in the first Black Panther movie, because there's a fight between Black Panther and Kraven in Christopher Priest's Black Panther comic book run. I've never read this, but those 2 characters seem like, I mean, that'd be a pretty badass fight.
Oh, dude, that would be like Sabretooth and Wolverine going at it, dude. That would be an awesome fight.
And again, because Marvel...
What happened with Marvel anyway? I feel like I don't remember. I mean, I know there was years where I didn't read comics as often.
Yeah.
But Marvel at some point, I guess, got into some kind of arrears, or they were like doing shittily. And they I guess they had to start selling off.
Oh, you're talking about their comics specifically?
Yeah. They had to start selling off rights to things.
Yeah.
And that's how Sony got into this bullshit.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. In fact, we won't do it now, but we'll do a deep dive on that. You know, my next Yapathon, Adrian. Maybe I'll break that down. You know, but they ran into some financial issues, and then they wanted to get into the movie business, and their thought was, you know, let's just sell off these rights to make money, because I believe that Marvel Comics was like close to bankruptcy at that point. So it was more like, hey, take these fucking movie rights so we can make some money. But then it screwed them in the long run, because then once they got in the business, they realized, shit, we don't even own half of these characters. So yeah, we will. That's a great one. We'll do a deep dive in a couple weeks on that. But the idea of Kraven versus Black Panther, dude, I think we really missed out on something there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Richard Wank was hired. Whoa. I bet he was at them Diddy parties, bro. Was hired to write, that's the other stuff, by the way, a screenplay for Kraven the Hunter in August of 2018. So it's crazy how much happens to get one of these movies. People are like, just make a movie on this. Like, dude, you have to go through all this shit sometimes.
Right. If they were on Tubi, it would have happened last week.
Yeah. Could have shot it in this room, right? Tubi.
Fuck, dude.
So he's hired to what's that?
all the movies they make, man. It's like, oh my God. How did this many movies even exist?
Right.
But
and most of them are just like a rehash of another story.
Yeah.
He's hired to write a screenplay back in 2018, a month after Sony releases the Equalizer 2. You ever seen that movie? Equalizer movies? I heard they're good. I've never seen them, though.
No.
The project...
Oh, wait a minute. Denzel Washington?
Denzel's, yeah.
I'm thinking Punisher. Yes, I've seen all of them.
Okay. They good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got to check them out. I got some news about Denzel coming soon, too, a little bit later, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. So anyways, this was supposed to be the next chapter of their shared universe, and obviously, I mean, 2018 now, so it's taken 6 years for this thing to get off the ground. But Wank said he was cracking the story, he was cracking that shit, and the tone of the film before scripting, and he intended to adhere to the comic characters' book lore. He wanted to feature Kraven fighting Spider-Man. And adapt the Kraven Last Hunt comic book storyline. This is a storyline that I've not read the comic, but in the Spider-Man 2 game, they adapt some of this Last Hunt, and this is where Kraven, he basically has hunted everyone. Where I forget what he's over in Russia or whatever. He hunted all the big game there, and now he's coming to the States and he's looking to hunt like superheroes.
Right.
And this is where Spider-Man gets on his radar.
Yep.
Right. So they wanted to adapt that into the movie, which would have been badass. Like, hey, I've done hunting all these motherfuckers, but that little superhero over there, I'm gonna hunt his ass.
Right.
And then in the game, Kraven ends up hunting Spider-Man, ends up hunting Venom. There's pretty cool fights there, and Venom kills Kraven by biting his fucking head off, which is an awesome scene in the game. Oh yeah, spoiler alert if you've not played the game. It's been out for like 2 years though.
Yeah.
So, anyways, so Sony finally confirmed back in March of 19 that the Kraven movie was in development. John Watts, director of Homecoming and Far From Home, actually expressed interest in featuring Kraven in the third Spider-Man film, which ended up being No Way Home. So basically, dude, it sounds like everybody wanted this guy.
Right.
I think one of the reasons it's taken Sony so long is the poor performance by a lot of their Spider-Man movies, right? But they, and then for casting, listen to some of these names that were almost casted as Kraven: Brad Pitt, Keanu Reeves, John David Washington, and Adam Driver. So that they were all kind of in the works.
Whose kid is Adam Driver? Oh, Mimi or whatever.
I don't know who he's related to, but he's the one from Star Wars.
Right.
Yeah.
How does that guy even have a job?
I don't know.
I mean, whatever. Well, why do we have a podcast?
Yeah, right. Yeah, some people want to know that. Yeah, because we fucking feel like it. That's why. But Sony quickly moved the task to cast Aaron Taylor Johnson, as they were blown away by some early footage of him in the movie Bullet Train. You ever seen this movie?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually funny that, speaking of Brad Pitt, he's in that.
Okay.
And my girl, oh my God, she fucked up her face so bad.
Oh damn.
It'll come to me.
Yeah. But anyways, they were blown away. So I didn't even realize, I never even heard of this movie, but I'm assuming Aaron Taylor Johnson was in it, obviously. But they were blown away by his performance there, so that's why they brought him in. And now we got this movie scheduled to be released December 13th. It was previously scheduled for January 13th of 23, then October 6th of 23, August 30th of this year. So this movie's been moved back freaking 3 times. I think the first 2 were due to the writer strikes possibly, and this last one, I don't know if it was reshoots or whatnot. But either way, it's about a month away. Hearing all this, though, it's interesting that, like, you wonder, like, why don't they adapt certain characters? Like, Kraven's a badass character.
Right.
I mean, we talked about Spider-Man's rogue galleries, the best in Marvel and probably only rivals, Batman and DC, right?
Right.
But this is a cool-ass character that it should be in a rated R environment. We talk a lot about that with comics. Most of comics are not PG-13, right? So, yeah, dude, I'm looking forward to this even more, hearing that, or reminding myself that it's rated R. I like the gangster story approach. The only thing, though, that is I really just hope for once one of these Sony movies leads to some type of Spider-Man interaction.
Right.
Because everything sounds great, except for the fact that there's no Spider-Man in a movie with a Spider-Man villain.
Right.
Now, we saw with Penguin, which we'll get into later, you can definitely make it work without the main hero, but it needs to lead to them interacting.
Right, at some point.
So what about you? Outside of the Spider-Man not being in this, anything where makes you nervous, or you think this thing will actually be one of Sony's better, movies?
Well, they've had enough shitty movies to learn from, so I expect it to be better.
At some point, you got to get one right.
Exactly. I mean, what is it? Even a broke clock is right twice a day.
Exactly.
Come on, dude.
Hopefully, this is that broken clock moment for them.
What's her name?
Get one of these interns. Can you guys look this up?
Sandra Bullock.
Okay.
So Sandra Bullock is also in that movie. Sandra Bullock, Andrew Koji, which I like, and he's got this movie like in the Western kind of a theme. So that's pretty cool. Andrew Taylor Johnson, Brad Pitt. So a lot of people was in it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's funny that, she comes out, Sandra Bullock, she comes out at this. So this is the other stuff, by the way. She comes out at the end, right? Looking like Michael Jackson, right? who changed to look like, what's her face? Jodie Foster.
Okay.
I mean, that's my opinion.
Got it.
So one is changing to look like another one who's changing to look like another one. It's just weird, dude. But she is just such a beautiful girl. And then she goes through all of this stuff to make her look like something completely different.
Crazy.
Whatever.
My God, read the room.
Seriously. James Gunn, dude, he's killing off pretty much every DCEU movie outside of the Suicide Squad.
In slow motion.
Yeah. No, you're thinking Zack Snyder.
Well, whatever.
But James Gunn, he's running the new DCU, right? So a lot of... we were unsure of like where this line starts and stops, because he did say some of these characters will actually continue their story in the DCU and some of them won't, right? We do know he recasted, Superman. Superman's got a whole new, reboot here or whatnot. But it's interesting. There's one movie and two movies and one show that will continue to be canon in DCU, and everything else is gone. So the first one is The Suicide Squad, which he directed. That was I didn't like that one, with the big starfish and all that nonsense. Peacemaker, which you actually liked. Yeah. That's going to continue to be part of the DCU. And Blue Beetle, of all movies, which actually wasn't horrible.
No, it wasn't horrible.
I mean, it's better than a lot of the other garbage. A lot better than The Flash, by the way.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, that's not saying much. That a few minutes ago when we were talking about the weather was actually better than The Flash. So there's that.
Wow, the Weather Channel was better than
Damn. But dude, the only properties he's choosing to keep canon are Suicide Squad, Peacemaker, and Blue Beetle. So, again, I'm not excited. Why don't you just wipe the whole shit out? Honestly,
right.
At this
because
point.
none of them are really worth keeping.
Correct. Right. I mean,
especially when you got so many other characters that you can pull from.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah. So I might do just kill them all.
Right.
I did not like that Suicide Squad movie, dude. It was not the fucking guy with the polka. It just was like the weasel. Like,
right.
There's nothing fun about it for me. But anyways, moving on. Wesley Snipes, dude, Blade, rumored to be returning to the MCU sooner than you think, Adrian. So I think we saw some rumors recently where he's going to show up in Secret Wars. I mean, everyone's going to be in Secret Wars.
Sure.
I saw a rumor me and you might be in Secret Wars. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, sure. It sounds like Secret Wars is going to be like the Expendables.
For real.
Let's just bring who ever acted in fucking movies.
Yep.
Just bring them all back at one time.
Get Harry Potter up in there. Get fucking Mickey Mouse running around. Who gives a shit? But Wesley Snipes rumored to show up. The rumor is that it's a movie between Doomsday and Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. So right now, this is what's on the slate, Adrian, for the next year, almost actually 3 years. So we have Brave New World, the Captain America movie, Captain Falcon movie, coming out in February of next year. Fantastic Four First Steps in July 25th of next year. So actually, stay tuned. I got a lot of Fantastic Four news and rumors here. Okay. Then, and this is just the titles that have been confirmed. Avengers Doomsday, May 1st of 26. There's an untitled Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man 4, July 24th of 26. And then Secret Wars, May 7th of 27. Now, Disney has scheduled 2 additional films. They're untitled right now, so we have no idea what they're going to be, on February 13th and November 6th of 26. So there's 3 confirmed movies in between Doomsday, Secret Wars. One of them is a Spider-Man movie. The other 2, we have no freaking idea what they're going to be. What this is saying is Wesley Snipes' Blade is going to show up in one of those movies. Okay. I don't think it's going to be a Blade movie, right? Because that thing's been put on the shelf now for, indefinitely till they can get the script right. Which on that, I mean, I'd prefer them to just wait till they get it right. And a lot of people were upset about the movie being moved back. But just wait until you get it right. Don't force some bullshit out. Right.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen what Sony can do when they force bullshit out, right?
Right. So so Marvel, don't follow suit.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. Right. But how do you feel about here? Because you're a big Blade Wesley Snipes guy, but like 90s Blade Wesley Snipes. We saw him in Deadpool and Wolverine. It wasn't the most flattering, performance. It was cool to see. Sure. But like, did you see the Mike Tyson fight?
I was going to make a comment in reference to that, but yeah, I did see it.
You did. All right, we're going to talk about that later. That's going to be some other stuff. But I guess kind of, hey, less is more, dude. The training montage was great, all this great stuff, but then they had to ring the bell. And it's kind of like, it sounds good, Wesley. It's awesome. I'm happy for him as a person to come back, but I don't want to see too much of this, elderly Blade. How you feel about this?
So the idea of someone other than Blade after 3 movies? Yeah. In my mind, it's unsettling. And then Marshala, for me, doesn't fit the bill. Okay. And it's not that he's not, and just so I'm clear, when I say someone doesn't fit the bill, like they're miscast, it doesn't mean that they're a bad actor or actress. It's just that in my mind, they just don't look like the part. Correct. Right? So, however, after seeing Wesley in Deadpool and Wolverine, and he didn't have to move a lot, and a lot of other stuff was like AI probably. I think that, there's enough young blood, as long as we don't have the guy come back from the series. Right. The failed TV series. Oh, right? Yeah. As long as he don't come back, there is another Wesley Snipe-esque Blade out there. Correct. Right? That we don't need to bring in Wesley Snipe, the tutor now. Mr. Miyagi Wesley Snipes. And then after seeing Mike Tyson shuffle around, dude,
if you could call that a shuffle.
I don't want to say that was disappointing, even though it was. Right. I just didn't like how overt they were with the setup, because that's all it was.
Yeah.
You know, the training videos, you know, him going around, all this other kind of stuff. You know, the fake fight just to get everybody in there. Charlize Theron was in there. Shaq was in there. I mean, you got some big names in there to watch this dude shuffle around, and then this other guy pat him on the head at the end.
Right.
You know, that was just, it was almost puke worthy.
Yeah.
To watch.
I'll tell you what, it was a genius fucking marketing strategy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We all were hooked, like, oh, Tyson's back, and like, no, dude.
No.
I pulled up DraftKings and I was putting some money on it, and I saw the Tyson was like a plus 800 underdog. I'm like, oh, there's no way he's winning.
Right.
There's no, because Vegas ain't that wrong. Like, So I put some money on Jake. I should have put some fucking more.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it was. They got us though. That Mark, we thought Iron Mike was back. Like, oh shit, people were actually convinced he's gonna win.
Right.
83% of the bets when I bet were on Tyson at that point. I'm
Damn.
like, oh my, Vegas cleaned house this weekend. Holy shit.
Right.
So hopefully some of y'all didn't put too much on Tyson, Blade the hype. But
and also it was an excellent marketing vehicle for Netflix.
Sure.
Because that's going to be a thing for them, I guess, moving forward. Yeah. They announced
well, they need some work though.
all the
Their fucking stream was atrocious.
Yeah, it was, dude. That whole setup, the way they, the back
mics
and forth,
didn't work half the
mics
time.
didn't work.
Like the fucking chick didn't know what fight was coming next, dude.
Right.
As a live presentation, that was a shit show.
Oh,
Netflix.
it was. It was horrible to watch.
And the announcers, dude, Mauro Ranallo, no more. No fucking more. I'm tired of the forced fucking pop culture references like, like DJ Khaled, another one.
I'm like, this dude is going to say something that is going to get him fired.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just all the and what's with the Mexican American fighters. What they weren't saying about the white fighters and all this other kind of shit, right? Oh, the Mexican Americans. Whoa, you know what happens when Mexican Americans get? I'm like, come on, dude. You're gonna get shivved or fired.
Yeah,
highly inappropriate for them.
And then him and Roy Jones are arguing over why Mike Tyson's biting the glove. Like, dude, come on, Roy Jones, read the room, bro. Like, seriously. No, I fought him before. That's not why he bites the glove. Something's wrong with his mouthpiece. Then they asked Mike at the end, and he's like, no, I always do that.
Right. But they did do a lot of promotion for that Netflix thing. I think they're gonna do things like this going forward. They announced the football.
Yeah, football game Christmas Day.
Yep. So that's gonna be huge for them. So Netflix is,
Oh, dude, WWE's moving. I think it's Monday Night Raw over to Netflix.
Really?
It's a big deal. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Now, granted, neither one of these, football on Christmas ain't going to get 60. That's part of the problem, too. There were 60 million people watching this. So Netflix didn't anticipate that, maybe. I don't know how the interwebs work, but holy shit.
Well, that had nothing to do with the mics not working. It had nothing to do with, I mean, how you going to have all these dudes around here, all of Mike's old components? I mean, some of them couldn't even talk, dude.
No.
They didn't even know. They couldn't
Evander Holyfield's at the end like, what are y'all saying? Huh?
Well, I think legitimately he couldn't hear them because there's a lot of noise.
Yeah.
It's not like in
his
here.
earpiece wasn't working.
Right. His earpiece wasn't working, so he didn't hear anything.
Lennox Lewis is relaying the message to him. They're sharing mics. Like, dude, this is Netflix.
Right. I'm like, dude, Lennox Lewis. How far? I mean, get your teeth fixed, dude. I mean, like half of your shit in the back is missing. I mean, come on. You made all that money, and now you're down to this?
Right.
Come on, man.
I think Evander must have had a couple of those Mike Tyson gummies because he had the shades on, and he didn't know where he was. Like, what? No, he ain't going to bite nobody. They keep asking that. Is Mike going to bite someone?
That's so stupid.
Stop.
It's so stupid, dude.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't say that if he was standing right there, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, it was. I will say this, though. We're not going to talk about it later. We'll just do it right now. I agree. Dude, he looked horrible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you have to remember, if you take the names out of it, it's a 58-year-old guy in the ring against a 27-year-old kid who is a trained boxer. Right. I'm not saying Jake's not the greatest boxer in the world. Trust me. All he fights is older people. I got it. But, dude, I'm 38 and I feel it in the morning, let alone being 58 and trying to do that. People are like, well, it's scripted because, Tyson didn't look like that in the training videos. Dude, let me tell you something. It's a little different hitting mitts and hitting the bag or than being in the actual fight.
Right.
It takes a lot more out of you.
Right. Because when you hit in the mitts, a lot of people don't understand, like, I would come home from work and my wife's like, dude, why are you so exhausted? Because you sit there and it's the mental work.
Right.
Mental work and physical work is two completely different things. And then when you're doing both of them, when you go down for the night, you are out.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when you hit in the mitts, you're not thinking about the mental part is hitting the mitts, not also defending yourself.
Correct.
Right? So
you're seeing half of it.
Exactly. So when you're hitting the mitts and nobody's trying to hit you back, oh yeah, that looks awesome.
Yeah.
But we saw what happens when somebody's trying to hit him back.
Correct.
Too, you know.
Yep. No, the only shot Tyson had was like that first round.
Yeah.
He looked decent the first round, but once he was exhausted after that.
Right.
Once Jake hit him a couple of times, it was a wrap.
You see him like it was some round, I mean, third, fourth, fifth, or whatever. He comes out and fucking the snot things hanging out. That was I just felt bad for him at that point, dude. It's like, come on.
And overall, did you just watch any of the other fights?
Dude, the woman, the lady, she got robbed again.
Dude, I'll tell you what.
Again.
Watching that show Sunday, because I used to box, and before I boxed or when I boxed, I was like a teenager. I absolutely loved boxing. I watched it was back in the Felix Trinidad era, Bernard Hopkins, like that was my era. And watching this show, this promotion this past Saturday or Friday reminded me of why I don't watch boxing anymore. It's fucking rigged.
Right.
There's always a judge decision that goes the wrong way. If you don't knock your opponent out, the right person never wins.
Right.
It's all about this.
Right.
It's the most crooked fucking sport there is.
She got robbed twice.
Yeah.
For the same shit.
Yep.
She headbutted her intentionally, and then she just like gouged.
Correct.
You know, grinding her fucking braids into this cut. And this thing's flapping at the end.
Absolutely.
Come on, dude.
And forget about that. How about the amount of punches that Serrano landed over the opponent? Like, explain to me how it wasn't like 10 more punches, dude. It was like over 100 more punches landed for this individual. It was bullshit. Yeah. Even the fight before, Barrios and Ramos. Barrios won that fight. It was not a draw.
Right.
It's just, dude, it reminded me of why I absolutely hate boxing, and I used to love the sport. It's the crookedness. What's that have to do with this? Nothing at all.
That's the other stuff.
That's the other stuff. But, talking about casting, this is like, I say my hypocrisy knows no bounds, but this is the hypocrisy you see online because people, they'll say things like, we critique Tom Hardy's Bane, right?
Yep.
And then we hear this statement of, well, who else could have played him? Like Tom Hardy's the only motherfucker that could have played Bane, right? And then the same people that say that, when we talk about how casting Robert Downey Jr. as Doom was genius, literally anybody but Doom. Wait a minute. I thought only there's only one person that can play, one character. Like, I'm not a fucking casting director. So they're like, well, then who would you cast? I'm not a casting director.
Nor do you don't have like all the fucking photos of everybody.
Correct.
You don't know what the stable is.
Exactly. I guarantee you, dude, there's a million fucking actors out there that could have played Captain Marvel. There's a million actors that could have played Bane and looked the part and been better in Venom. I mean, there just is. Just because, the answer, no, I don't. I'm not a casting director. So, anyways, what's that have to do with this? Nothing.
Woo, heating up in this mug
today,
today.
Dude. Absolutely. So I told you we're coming in hot, Adrian. So, but yeah, back to the Wesley Snipes. Give him one more send-off in Secret Wars, call it a day. I did see a rumor about the idea of doing a Logan-type film with Wesley's Blade, the older Blade, kind of the end of his career life, if you will. I probably would be more up for something like that than us trying to pretend like let's not pretend he's not 60 years old.
Right.
Let's go, hey, he's the old Blade, dude. He's fucking on his way out. Sure. Like they did with Logan and
Sure. Yeah.
Be cool with that.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep. I'm cool with that too.
But let's not have him doing the Michael Keaton, Shit. Fantastic Four, Adrian. I think I'm gonna make a prediction here. Okay. I think you're gonna like some of this news here,
Okay.
So Galactus is rumored to be after Franklin Richards in Fantastic Four First Steps. So we've heard a lot about this movie. We've heard that it's...
Wait a minute, Galactus the Cloud?
No, the real Galactus, dude.
Okay.
A celestial, giant-looking motherfucker whose head's the size of skyscrapers. Yes. I saw a clip that was from, I think, San Diego Comic-Con of some footage that they got to see there, and they still haven't shown us for some fucking reason. But there was a giant Galactus, looking in the building. Dude, his eyes, as big as, the big window. And it wasn't a cloud. It wasn't
thunderstorm.
It was good. It's the one thing that Eternals did well was the way they portrayed the Celestials.
Right.
It was Celestial-esque, put it that way.
Right. Even the Avengers when Giant Man, when Ant-Man turned into Giant Man, that was
awesome.
Well.
Yeah.
Or when he was out in the river.
Yep.
Right. And
Endgame. Yep.
So they can do it properly.
Right.
But back then, I don't know what that was.
Dude, yeah, just what the fuck. But it's what we know so far. It's going to be set against a vibrant backdrop of a 60s-inspired retro futuristic world. I heard a rumor recently that this Fantastic Four, they're actually from Earth 616 originally, and they're trying to get back there. So something happened. We know Reed's always messing around with portals. Maybe he fucked something up, moved him to this other reality, and now they're trying to figure out. So that was a rumor. That's not been confirmed. That's intriguing, right?
Yeah, because I'm wondering. I mean, it costs more money to do a retro than it does to just go outside and shoot and fucking.
But it would explain why they haven't been around. Like, it'd be weird if, like, hey guys, the Fantastic Four is part of the MCU. Like, dude, all this shit's happened and they never popped in.
That is.
They're
true.
watching the Avengers, like the universe is like about to end, and Reed's just playing with Franklin in the crib, So I guess they would justify that, and it probably makes it a little more. At least probably for me, I'm a little more interested in this story now that it's not just some one-off from another. They're actually from this universe originally.
Well, I mean, if you think about it that way, where were the X-Men and the Infinity Wars and stuff like that? They're also Marvel, and they're right down the street.
Right. Well, they don't exist in the MCU yet.
Oh,
so
that's true.
They're coming at some point down the road. So it also talks about how they must defend Earth from a ravenous space god called Galactus, and his enigmatic herald Silver Surfer. So we also learned recently that Julia Garner is playing Silver Surfer. So I don't know if it's because there's several. Is there a female Silver Surfer, or there's just female heralds of Galactus?
Female heralds of Galactus.
Okay, so that's a change.
Right. Who was it? Julia Garner?
Julia Garner. She's from Ozark. You ever seen Ozark with Jason Bateman?
Yeah.
Chick with the is her name Rose in the show? The curly blonde hair.
Oh yeah.
The Savage, the one that they kill at the end. Yep, there you go. So I don't know. I mean, she's a good actress. We'll see. She also played Anna Delvey in that show about, I think it was Becoming Anna, create some shit like that. This like a fraudster. She was overseas and pretended to be like this royal princess and basically
I saw the previews for that.
Yeah, so that actually was a pretty good series. Okay. And that chick's actually out now. Anna Delvey selling art and shit, like the real one. But anyways, what's that to do with this? Again, nothing. She's playing Silver Surfer. But it's the rumor was, this is going to get very personal, and it's personal because Galactus is allegedly after Franklin Richards. He tells the Fantastic Four to bring the boy to him or he'll destroy the Earth. We don't know why he wants Franklin.
Oh, I can tell you that.
Why?
Well, because remember, Franklin can create and manipulate multiverses. So why do Galactus need to fly around expending energy looking for worlds to eat when he can just have Franklin bring him toast in the morning?
There you go.
I'm just saying.
There you go. You solved it, Adrian. So, and the reason why I said I think you would like this is you did Franklin Richards as a hidden gem a while back. And I mean, we've had, we've had like 80 hidden gems almost. But that was one that really stood out to me because I knew nothing about that character. And he's one of the most powerful characters in Marvel Comics, period.
Yep.
And you I think you challenged Marvel then. You said, you guys can't bring this on screen. Like and they accepted your challenge here. So they are listening, Right.
Well, let's see.
We'll see.
Because let's just see.
Okay. So the inspiration for this movie comes from Earth X. I've not read this, but it saw the female Shala Bal become Silver Surfer. So this does happen in some comic. And they explore that connection between Franklin and Galactus. In that reality, there was I think this was Franklin. He agreed to let High Evolutionary transform him into the new Galactus to restore balance to the universe and protect it from the Celestials. After his father turned the original version into a star, he lost his memories, and with guidance from the first two Silver Surfers, he consumed planets and would eventually give birth to a Celestial. So I don't know if they're going all that wackiness, but it does sound like I'm intrigued to see this Franklin Richards on screen. There's another rumor about Doomsday. They're looking to cast a toddler to play Franklin, but then in another movie, they're going to cast a teenager because Franklin, with his powers, could age up, right?
Right.
Just like Wanda's twins did in the show. So I think we'll see some of that. We'll see him as a child. We'll see him age up to, you know, a teenager or whatnot.
I mean, toddler to me is what, 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So that's about right, and that's about when he starts, you know, manifesting like the real stuff.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. I mean, it's not that I wasn't interested in the Fantastic Four movie, because I do want to see what they can do with them now, because I think it was a little early to try to adapt those characters, and those movies never really hit for me.
Right. There was, what, 2 or 3 of them, and they sucked?
Yep, there was the first 2 that those 2 were connected with Jessica Alba as
Sue
Richards. And then they did the reboot with Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch and all that nonsense. And actually, Chris Evans was Human Torch in the first 2.
Right.
I didn't hate those movies. I haven't seen them in a long, long time.
No, I didn't hate them, but they just...
It's just,
I mean, it's a Fantastic Four, dude.
Right.
I mean, either do it right or don't do it at all.
Correct.
And they didn't do it right.
Yeah. And I always... Not that I didn't know a lot about this character, but just from the way he looked, I always thought Silver Surfer was cool as shit as a kid.
Dude.
And I thought that they did it was cool to see him on screen, to put it that way. I don't think they did a bang-up job with it, but it was cool to see him on screen. So, yeah, dude, I'm Fantastic Four. If this is what's happening, I think this is great.
Sure.
What I don't want is an origin story, and it sounds like we're not going to get that. These are established characters. They've had powers. They've been the Fantastic Four for a long time.
Right.
I think it's refreshing for a change.
Sure.
You know, I don't think we need to see the origin for every damn character in every movie and show.
Right.
Next up, Madelyn Cline rumored for a female lead role in Spider-Man 4. Well, Adrian, do you even know who this individual is?
I do not.
So what I'm going to do here with our tech here, Adrian, I'm going to pull her up, okay? She is from some show, I think, Outer Banks. So hold on, let me get a nice little picture here of her. Top shot. This is Madelyn Cline.
Okay.
She's rumored for a starring female role in Spider-Man 4.
Okay.
So who are some female lead roles in Spider-Man? You have Gwen Stacy.
Yep.
You have
Mary
MJ,
Jane.
which I don't think she's going to play MJ.
Right.
And then you also have
Aunt
May, yeah. She's a little young for Aunt May.
Yeah.
Felicia Hardy, Black Cat.
Black Cat, yeah.
So Black Cat, I mean, blonde actress. Black Cat's got the white hair. Gwen Stacy's got the blonde hair. I mean, my immediate it's
got to be one of
those two, right?
But then again, who did they cast for MJ in the latest Spider-Man movie? So they can completely change up anything.
It might be casting her for Uncle Ben. You never know. You know, you never know. But let's just let's try to use our common sense here.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't want to see Gwen Stacy yet, just because I feel like we have a lot of Gwen Stacy going on now and Across the Spider-Verse. Almost not a lot, but I like Kevin Feige's approach of let them finish that story before we bring Miles into the MCU.
Right.
So kind of let them finish that before we bring Gwen Stacy into the MCU, is my thought. And Felicia Hardy, I think, is a character that we need to see on screen.
Right.
We've never seen on screen, and I think it's time. I don't know this actress. I've never seen her work. From a look standpoint, I think she can pull it off 100%.
She reminds me. I agree. Probably that role for her as opposed to Gwen Stacy or anybody else. Mm-hmm. But she reminds me of Gemma, the actress. I forget I don't know if it's first or her last name, but Gemma, the one in Eternals.
Okay.
The one that the Superman guy married or was involved with. She is fucking beautiful, dude. Not that this one really is, but
right.
I mean, she's cute or whatever with all the work done. Anyway, I'm going down a rabbit hole. Yeah. Dude. I'm sliding fast. Anyway, she reminded me of Gemma, which I would like to see her reprise her role in something, because I think she did a pretty decent job. And again, it's director thing and casting, but I think she can do well in a superhero type movie.
Yeah, I mean, she definitely looks the part. We've not seen Felicia Hardy. Well, actually, we did in Amazing Spider-Man. She was never Black Cat, but Felicity Jones played Hardy in that. I think she was just a small sideline character. And then this is a piece of news that I'm so glad never happened. So Anne Hathaway, who played Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, was set to debut as a early version of Felicia Hardy in Sam Raimi, as you corrected me earlier. Raimi. I keep getting fucking wrong. God damn it. Raimi in the fourth. Well, I guess a lot was going to happen in this fourth Spider-Man movie that we never got. Kraven the Hunter, Anne Hathaway as, Black Cat, which... that
was a good thing.
That was a good thing. We don't need to see her screw up 2 cat-inspired female characters. Like, 0 for fucking 2. So, I mean, that would have been bad, dude. You're 0 for 2 on cat-like characters? Like, damn. No more animal shit for you, Anne Hathaway. This thing, like, almost like you said earlier, Anne Hathaway's a great actress. So, like, just not great Catwoman. That was an atrocity. So far for this movie, here's some of the rumors. Peter's going to get the black suit from a symbiote that was left in the MCU at No Way Home, or from No Way Home. That's going to lead to Null basically coming over to this universe.
Right, because he needs that symbiote.
Needs it. And I guess this is the rumor of how Peter's even going to get it. Peter will die and be brought back by the symbiote, because the symbiote can heal, right? And that's going to create a new codex that brings Null, the King in Black, to Earth 616.
Well, healing and resurrecting is two different things.
It's a rumor.
2 different power sets. So I'm just saying,
Yeah, I don't know if the symbiote has a resurrection ability. I don't think so.
Nah.
But maybe it's close.
Maybe
to
he was.
dying.
Yeah, I was going to say maybe he's close to.
Again, this is a rumor, so don't take all that. They told me this. I don't think it's a fucking rumor, dude. I found it online. Okay.
Right.
And then beyond this saga, the idea for them is to go back to the basics. They do want to incorporate the Devil's Reign storyline, play that out in the Spider-Man film, and basically what would happen there is Spider-Man would team up with Daredevil. So that is on the table for the future, allegedly, and we may even see a Spider-Man cameo in Daredevil Born Again. So all of this, dude, I'm down with.
Sure.
I do kind of, it's hard because I want him to get the symbiote, and that sounds like a really cool story, but I also really would love to see the grounded Devil Reign story, Spider-Man with Daredevil fighting Kingpin on that street level, and so, I mean, we can get all of it. We got plenty of time, right?
Sure.
But, so the Spider-Man 4 script has been written by Chris McKenna and Eric Summers. So I'm sure I say those names. You have no idea who they are. I didn't have any idea who they are. So these two, Chris McKenna, he wrote the Lego Batman movie. He wrote Igor. He wrote Spider-Man Homecoming, the newer Jumanji movie, Welcome to the Jungle, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Spider-Man Far From Home, and Spider-Man No Way Home. So, pretty decent.
Some street creds.
Yeah. And then Eric Summers actually co-wrote a lot of these same films with him, the Lego Batman movie, Spider-Man, Jumanji, Ant-Man, and then the 2 Spider-Man movies, and some movie from last year called Ghosted. Never heard of it. So, I mean, they've written some good Spider-Man movies. And I actually really like the Lego Batman movie, by the way. My kids watch it. It's actually fucking hysterical. As a Batman fan, it's awesome. So, I mean, sounds like this should be a hit.
Okay.
It should be, right? They have a lot of toys to play with here. You got the symbiote, you got possibly Daredevil, you got Kingpin, you got Null, and you got 2 writers that brought us 3 really good Spider-Man movies. Sure. So, speaking of Daredevil Born Again, Adrian, Daredevil Born Again is rumored to be the most violent thing Marvel has brought to screen, and Marvel has also confirmed that Daredevil and Punisher will have a future in the MCU. Jessica Jones is rumored to show up, so... How are you one of those people that, it's probably a dumbass question for you, but do you think, seeing these violent things on screen are going to make you go violent?
Only if it's done wrong or done badly. The performance, the direction, all that kind of stuff. But no, I'm not gonna go out and fucking.
Oh, you mean if they
paint
screw
my
it?
Shirt? Yeah, if they screw it up,
then you're gonna get pissed off.
Then I'm gonna get pissed off. But I'm not gonna go out and put a skull on my T-shirts and run around town.
Right. And the reain
I would make it a block anyway.
The reason I even say that is I don't think everything should be crazy violent, but let's remember where a lot of these stories come from. Some pretty violent comic stories. Like, it should be more of that. I think we're at a point where I would assume most of the fans of these movies, they're not 4-year-olds.
Right.
We're at this time, like, I think it's more people our age, to be honest.
Well, the thing about it is that, and we've mentioned this in the past, is like, I'm a paper comic book reader.
Yeah.
You're a tablet comic book reader. You will read the paper too.
Sure.
And you've presented some paper here. But and a lot of our fans are, I won't say fans, the people that watch only comics, they were introduced to comic book characters through movies, through motion picture, not even pages at all, or comic books at all.
Right.
So what am I saying? So they only know about the things that the movie world has introduced them to.
Correct.
So there's like a lot of characters they don't know anything about. So when you say the Punisher, unless you saw him in a movie, don't know he exists.
Right.
Franklin Richards, Galactus. I mean, all these people, they don't even know they exist.
Right.
Unless they were introduced through some kind of movie thing. So
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I'm down with it. Bring the violence too.
Sure.
I think that was one of the things that one of the things that set that Daredevil show apart from everything else is it was gritty, it was dark, and it was violent. And to say that, and this is including that. So take all that into consideration. Daredevil, Jessica Jones, all these shows, Luke Cage, the Echo show even really walked that line. Take all that into consideration, and this new show is going to be the most violent thing Marvel has brought to screen. Dude, I'll see how they top what they did already.
Right.
So that Brad Winderbaum, it's a hell of a last name. He's the head of Marvel Television. So he says that it's one of the most violent things we've put on screen, but it's in service of a greater tragedy that is really compelling. So whatever that means. He's trying to be poetic. I'm excited for the show. I don't think the audience is ready for the show. Oh, we're ready, bro. It goes really deep into these characters. I love the original show, and that cast is unbelievable. I remember, it's cool part. I remember having conversations with Kevin when the original series was cast. If we were making a movie about Daredevil, that would be the cast. Right. And that cast from that original show, they could absolutely make that a movie with those individuals. Oh,
absolutely. Which would be a milestone because they typically don't transition over.
It's either one or the other.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Winderbaum also confirmed that we'll be seeing more of Daredevil in the MCU after Born Again. He anticipates the show continuing for multiple seasons and adds that there are 100% future plans for John Bernthal's Frank Castle, a.k.a. the Punisher, as well. So those two characters are going to continue in the MCU.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. And here's the thing. When you look at the characters, Joker, the Penguin, the Hobgoblin, the Green Goblin. I mean, these are violent people, dude. And they nerf them in the movies, but in the comics, I mean, they get down.
Correct.
So the movie should be a reflection of what's actually in the comics.
Yep. So I mentioned Denzel Washington earlier. I don't know if you saw this yet, dude, but Denzel, he is out promoting Gladiator 2.
Yep.
So I believe it or not, I've never even seen the first Gladiator. You seen it? Yeah.
What kind of human are you?
Dang, he gave me this look of disdain over there. Holy shit! I should be ashamed of myself.
God, dude.
Oh damn. But no, I'm not seeing it. I do want to see it. It's been one of those movies on my list to watch, and I've just never watched, and it's been 20 years now.
Yeah, I mean, go watch it. And at least you can, see Russell Crowe when you can actually recognize him.
So Gladiator 2 is, I think, out already or coming out real soon. Denzel's on this promo tour, which is pretty cool. We get to see Denzel. That's one of the cool things about social media where we're at now. We get to see a lot of these iconic actors, artists, and we see a different side of them because back in the day, we never saw these promo tours, like the press conference. You had to be there. There's no freaking internet, Or
is this the King Charles thing?
King Charles?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No,
I don't think so. Nope.
Anyway, go ahead.
So he's doing the rounds for Gladiator 2, and they're asking him, what's next? Because Denzel's older. I mean, it's like how many more years of acting does he really have in him or want to act? I mean, he's been acting.
Oh, look at Sam Jackson or what's the guy from the other guy? It'll come to me.
All right. We'll come back to that, Adrian.
Yep.
But he's looking ahead, and he says that he will star in Black Panther 3.
What?
Marvel hasn't even officially confirmed this yet, but he says that Ryan Coogler is basically creating a role for him in Black Panther 3. And there's a really interesting connection between Denzel Washington and Black Panther in the first place. So, Felicia Rashad was mentoring Chadwick Boseman at Howard University. He was accepted into a British American Drama Academy midsummer program, but he couldn't afford to take it, right? So she made a call to Denzel. He agreed to foot the bill. And this is what Chadwick Boseman said in 2019. As fate would have it, I was one of the students that he paid for. So it wasn't just Chadwick, but he says, imagine receiving a letter that your tuition for that summer was paid for and that your benefactor was none other than the dopest actor on the planet. He says, there is no Black Panther without Denzel.
Nice.
And just because of me, and not just because of me, but my whole cast, that generation stands on your shoulders. He said this in a interview back in 19. So I think, dude, this is something that's really cool to come full circle. I don't know who Denzel's going to play in Black Panther. I mean, T'Challa, no. But I mean, I'm sure they can figure out something cool.
Sure.
And it's just, I'm a big Denzel fan. I mean, I love a lot of his movies, and to see him in the MCU, I'm for this, dude. I'm all for this.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, there's plenty of characters that he can play.
Sure.
I mean, when you get like Man on Fire and Equalizer, which I believe Equalizer is the continuation of Man on Fire, except they killed him.
Okay.
Because same background, right? Same skill set, but I think they made the mistake of killing them off in Man on Fire, but then they reprised him, resurrected him, as this guy in Equalizer.
Got it.
So, so you asked how long he's going to be able to do this?
Yeah.
Denzel's only what, 60 something maybe?
Something like that. Yeah.
Morgan Freeman, is literally 200 years old, and they still got him going. He's also in Lioness as the president.
Yep. Okay.
You got to watch that show, dude.
And he's about as old as our current president, so there's that too. There's that.
But yeah, they Morgan Freeman, he's still going, dude.
Yeah, he is still going strong, dude. Fucking Lucius Fox.
Yep.
Next up, Elizabeth Olsen is returning to the MCU prior to Doomsday, Adrian. She's going to be in Marvel's Zombies for some reason.
Okay.
So how do you feel about the Marvel zombie? I know there's some comics. There's a show coming out, I think later next year.
It was in What If too, right?
I think that's where it started from a TV standpoint.
It was actually pretty good though.
Okay, you liked it.
Yeah, I liked it.
Got it. So you liked it.
Liked
All right.
it.
Jeez, yeah.
Who is your dialect coach? The Minions?
No such word.
No, it doesn't exist. We create it here on.
Sure.
So yeah, I didn't liked it as much as you. No, I wasn't. I'm not a fan of What If, honestly.
They got kind of weird on, I think, season 2, maybe.
Yeah.
Some of them were good. Some of them were just atrocious.
There's certain episodes, like I like the Ultron episode with that, I forget the name, but that superpowered Ultron, like What If Ultron won? That was cool. But the stuff like, what if T'Challa was Star-Lord? Like, I just, shut the fuck up. But Elizabeth Olsen returning in Marvel Zombies. Now, in Doctor Strange, we'll get into that later, but she kind of almost plays a zombie-esque, like not really a zombie, but she sleepwalks into another version of her body in another, universe, but then we see Doctor Strange as a zombie.
Right.
He sleepwalks into a dead version of himself. So, I mean, I guess it fits, right? Scarlet Witch zombies.
Well, there will also be a nice way to resurrect her too,
Yes.
right? Because if she can be a zombie, then she can be resurrected as a, sentient.
We
being,
want her back.
right?
We want her back. Damn it. Next up, Adrian, the Penguin, Dr. Jullian Rush. So everybody's favorite doctor.
They're gonna kill him off.
Nope. But there's a rumor that, well, first of all, when we first met this character in this show, there's a lot of talk online about, is he Hugo Strange? Is he a version of Scarecrow? All could be true, right? Similar, like, obviously completely different name, which happens sometimes in show. I mean, he's not Oswald Cobblepot, he's Oz Cobb, so things can change. But there was a scene, and actually, go to the laptop shot real quick, Adrian. This is in one of the episodes. This is Julian's office. You see what's right here? I don't know if you can tell what that is, but it's a Scarecrow kind of glove. And here's a Scarecrow mask. We'll get a little closer up. So they're in his office. There's the hand. There's the mask, right? So, anyway, the rumor is that he was originally written to be a Scarecrow type of character. I mean, I don't know if the name was going to be different or whatnot, but somehow maybe they scrapped those plans, which I'm kind of torn here. I think this is a good universe for a Scarecrow-esque character because it is more grounded. But there's just something about this Jullian Rush character that I think is a miscast. I don't like this actor's portrayal at all.
Yeah. I mean, if they can do the mask full time, maybe they can get away with it. But just his whole demeanor and his neediness, and I mean, you saw in past episodes. You know, Sophia's got him tied to a chair, right? Yeah. So he's basically a tool.
Correct.
Right.
Yep.
So I'm just not feeling it.
Yeah, not feeling it. So, anyways, we're gonna move on. We're gonna wrap up comic news and rumors with a little thumbs up, thumbs down. Are you ready?
Ready. That was a long one, though.
It was. It was a record, dude.
Yep.
Long time. Well, you know what? I've been paying attention, and people love that beginning part of the. So now they're all going to tune out and not watch us. No, I'm just kidding. You fucking stick around, all right? Jesus, we're doing this for free.
Right?
Well, we are.
Oh, yeah.
For now, anyway. All right. Kraven the Hunter being called a gritty rated R story that is set to be released in less than a month. I give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. You left out the gangster part.
Oh, you know what? Hey, we'll bring this back, guys. Kraven the Hunter being called a gritty, rated R gangster story set to be released in next month.
Yeah.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Either way.
Either way. James Gunn kills off all of the DCEU movies outside of the Suicide Squad, Blue Beetle, and the Peacemaker show. I give this a thumbs down. You should have just killed all that shit, too.
Right. You should have stopped before the comma. Thumbs down.
Wesley Snipes rumored to be returning to the MCU sooner than you may think in some movie between Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. I give this also a thumbs down. I don't want to see the Mike Tyson Blade.
Right? Thumbs down.
Galactus.
Actually, I take that back.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up because I would like to see him reprise a role in something.
Got it.
I'm not sure. I think because they've watched us enough to know not to cast the decrepit,
right.
Jumping out of jets and stuff. So I think they're probably gonna steer away from that.
Okay.
So, but I am curious to see what they are going to do with him. So
okay.
I'm a thumbs up.
Thumbs up. You know what we call that here, Adrian? This is what we call
educated fucking wish.
That's an educated wish.
Go.
Okay. So Galactus rumored to be after Franklin Richards in Fantastic Four First Steps, set up against the 1960s inspired retro futuristic backdrop. I give this a thumbs up, dude. I'm intrigued.
Thumbs up. Yeah, it sounds pretty good.
Madelyn Cline rumored for a female lead role in Spider-Man 4. My thoughts are it's either Gwen Stacy or Black Cat, Felicia Hardy. I'm giving this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
She looks the part. I don't know if she can act. I guess we'll find out. I'm just out the battle, right?
Well, we're assuming, because she's being cast, right?
Right.
So we're assuming
she's in Outer Banks. My kids watch Outer Banks. It's more of like a teen type drama-ass show.
Right.
And then she's in that Knives Out or something like that, that Netflix series, Onion, some shit. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she can act, we're assuming, but the chick that played Captain Marvel, she was an actress too.
True, yeah, she was a good actor. It just wasn't
just
good.
not that one.
Yeah, true.
We shall see.
Yes, someone who can act. The guy who plays Daredevil, Charlie Cox. Daredevil Born Again rumored to be the most violent thing Marvel has brought to screen ever. And they confirmed that Daredevil and Punisher will have a future in the MCU. I give this a thumbs up.
As long as they don't do like a Mike Tyson fight kind of promotion thing. They get in there and it's the most violent thing. Then they get in there and it's like two cats playing with each other.
Yeah, don't Mike Tyson it. Denzel Washington confirms that Black Panther 3 is on the way and he's going to be starring in it. Give this a thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Elizabeth Olsen returning to the MCU prior to Avengers Doomsday in Marvel's Zombies for some reason. I guess a thumbs down, honestly. I don't give a shit about the zombies.
I love zombies. It'll be interesting to see, I think. Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. See that? We're not even upset. We just disagree. It's okay. You guys take notes.
Well, I don't like 12 years of zombies.
Okay.
And 3 different spinoffs of zombies.
Walking Dead.
But, I can deal with some zombies.
Last piece of news, Dr. Jullian Rush might have originally been planned to be Scarecrow based on some, Easter eggs in his office. That was scrapped. I give that a thumbs up because I don't want to see Dr. Jullian Rush fucking anywhere anymore.
Thumbs up.
It was probably the only critique about the Penguin show is that guy's character.
Right.
Outside of that, it was like perfection.
Exactly.
We are going to move into hit or miscast. Adrian, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So this is where I throw out some casting choices from the past. There is a theme this week, Adrian. The theme is everyone on this list was in Doctor Strange, Multiverse, in the Man, whatever the fuck it's called. Doctor Strange 2. You know what it's called.
Yeah, there you
know what I meant.
There you go. Yep.
Shit. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Number 1. This is a repeat. Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch.
Hit.
There we go. Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez.
Hit.
That was a hit. Rachel McAdams as Christine Palmer.
Hit.
Chiwetel Ejiofor, like that, as Baron Mordo.
Hit. Considering I've never seen that character as anybody else. I mean, played by anybody else. So.
Sure. And last but not least, Lashana Lynch as Maria Rambeau.
Miss.
There we go. So 4 out of 5. And we won't go too much into this now because we are going to jump into the movie a little bit later. But the one I will bring up, America Chavez, it's a newer character from the comics. I didn't know too much about her, but really cool power set.
Right.
And someone that I would assume we're going to see show up in these Doomsday. It hasn't been mentioned yet, but it's a multiverse thing.
Right,
She's
I was going to say
to be there.
Right, I was going to say. I mean, in order to pop around these things, you can't, rely on Reed to come up with some machine every 5 minutes.
Correct.
So it's very convenient to have somebody with the power to just move around like that.
And she's just hanging out in Carmitage now, learning how to make sparkles and shit.
There you
So
go.
she's there. She's ready. So moving on. We had a comment a few weeks back from It Was Too Big to Be Called a Sword, and he cleared up all the confusion. It was an anime weapon, right? Or Magna? How you say it? Manga. There you go. Well, you know what I meant. Some shit, But he asked us about our top weapons, top 3. So he says, damn, I thought my comment got missed in the We Respond segment. No, you didn't get missed, bro. But I'm so glad you picked it at the end. I forgot to add my favorite 3 weapons. So he said, Mjolnir, the Infinity Gauntlet, and the Valofax from God Country by Donnie Crates. I don't know what the fuck that is, but I trust you, dude.
Yeah.
Sounds legit.
Yep.
So he has actually a question for you, question for Adrian. I know he's big into anime, as am I. My favorite is Attack on Titan, which I highly recommend even to non-anime fans. Does he read manga? And if so, what is his favorite? Keep up the good work. Thanks for making Mondays great. Do you read manga, Adrian?
Every once in a while, but again, a lot of the manga has gone away from the manga I grew up with.
Okay.
Right. So, I'm drawing a blank now. It's like I see the names of them, and I've spit them out in the past.
Got it.
But like Bubblegum Crisis, with the
That's a manga.
Right. It's
Okay.
like it's not a gang, but it's a group of girls that one is Pris is like a music star.
Yep.
One's works in a police department. The other one, she's just rich and she's the one that's funding all this stuff. So they have these cybernetic suits that they use to go around and fight boomers. Boomers are these mostly robotic, but like cyborgish kind of entities that were developed to be aids to humans. Like these big statuesque things.
Yeah.
They're designed to lift heavy shit. Think of like a moving human-sized, human figured bulldozer moving around.
Okay.
These things were massive.
Yeah.
And they could fly with jets and all this other kind of stuff. So they started going crazy, and this team went after them. Now, manga is very specific, I think, because then you have like anime. So you have like Castlevania. You have Vampire Hunter D. Is there really manga? I think manga is more like the mechanical, technical side of it.
Okay.
So, yes, I do read it, but the art, just like in regular comics, influence what I read.
Got it.
And I tend to look more toward the older style.
Okay.
I don't really like the newer, super bright pages and all this other kind of stuff because it just doesn't. I like that dark, gritty, like Vampire Hunter D kind of anime when it comes to stuff like that.
Got it. Well, to get back to, you need a shorter name, though. It was too big to be called a sword. His original question for us last week was our favorite 3 weapons from the comics, right?
Right.
So, and I'll be honest, I didn't do a lot of research into this. One of my favorites is sitting right behind you right there.
Right.
Millionaire. How you say it?
Well, it's not pronounced millionaire.
Language.
Millionaire. It's not moynaire. Something like that. The damn hammer.
Right,
Okay,
right.
Thor's hammer.
We know what you're talking about.
You sure? Everyone's on the same
Yep,
page?
yep, we got it.
That is one of my favorites. And it's hard because I could literally pick two of Thor's. Stormbreaker's badass too.
Right.
But I think the cooler thing about the Moynier is the fact that you have to be worthy to pick it up. And there's only a few, I guess in the comics there's probably about a dozen, but there's a handful of people that can pick it up and most people can't. And one of the coolest moments on screen for me was when Cap, I think for a lot of people, summoned, Moynier in that battle with Thanos. And for me, it wasn't so much when he summoned it, it was when he started using it and he drew the lightning. Because I'm like, okay, he can pick it up.
Right.
But I didn't know that he was going to be able to draw lightning from them because I thought that was something that was just, Thor could do, no problem. But that was badass when he's, literally striking Thanos from above. That would be one of mine. Dude, I think the Cap shield is awesome. And I guess I'm looking at it from things I've seen in the MCU. So maybe that's not your question, but that's what I'm answering, So Cap Shield's another one for me. I think we've seen some really cool shit with that. It's made of vibranium, the whole deal. And then the last one I don't know if you consider this a weapon, but I'd say the Darkhold. And now after revisiting Doctor Strange and everything that thing allows, that's how Wanda was able to sleepwalk into another version of herself in a different freaking reality and literally wipe out the Illuminati in somebody else's body. Right. All because of the Darkhold. Yeah. So those would be my three, dude. What you got?
I'm thinking, so the first one is in a, it's like a collection. Iron Man armor. Yep. Because it's so diverse, so changing, so it changes so much, things like that. What else? I'm thinking about, say, Wonder Woman's lasso, because it's unbreakable. She can weaponize it. She can use it as, spears. She can lasso. She can do this. She can do that. The whole truth-telling thing, that's pretty cool. What else? There's a lot of stuff like anything that Forge creates. Yeah. He himself is a weapon. Right. He doesn't use his body as a weapon, but he creates these exotic weapons, some of which he don't even know how they work. He just knows how to make them work. Correct. But the other one would probably be, I like Cap's shield, so that's pretty cool. Corsair's ship. I forget the name of it. But just that whole ship in itself. So there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Mjolnir is cool. But when Cap picked it up, that kind of took this is Thor's thing away from it. Okay. It's like, once everybody gets in the kitchen and start telling you how to cook rice or something, right? It's like, it just kind of, it's no longer this person's rice. It's fucking everybody's rice. Right. Which is what Thor's hammer has ended up being. But still pretty cool. Yep. You can go into Batman's utility belt.
Right. There's so much shit there.
Just so much shit there. So it's a lot of stuff. But the question was the top three. Yeah. I'll go with Wonder Woman's lasso. Okay. I'll go with Iron Man's suit. Yeah. And I'll go with T'Challa's suit. I'll pick that over Cap's shield.
Okay. Yeah, that was when I thought of the shield, I'm thinking vibranium, dude, Cap's or Black Panther suit's awesome as well. Right. Also, something as simple as Spider-Man's web shooters.
Oh, yeah.
What he can do with those, they're awesome. Yeah. I was wondering, if Wolverine's claws are considered weapons or no, because they're part of him.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that'd be another, dude, the fact that you just pop these claws out, So there are so many, but yeah, those would be my three. I mean, the gauntlets, that's an easy one, too. That's a great, So, anyways, moving on to the Penguin series, Adrian. So, a lot to talk about here. But
I got to take my breath on this one, dude.
Dude. I'll go high level we'll start with the last episode. Yep. Okay. And I just have few notes here. One, these are just randoms. These are my ADHD review of this episode. Okay. So it starts off in Monroe's. Sophia, I don't know if it starts out there, but that's where I'm starting. Right. Monroe's, Penguin's waking up. You see Sophia. From a director's standpoint, from just cinematography, how this looks, everything's all dark and muted. And then you have Sophia, who's got like the pale skin, the black dress, and the bright red scarf. Dude, she just pops in this whole scene. It's like it's her fucking scene.
Right.
And, dude, she is a savage.
Yeah.
I mean, I say that every episode, but she's stirring shit up between Oz and his mom. They're going to cut her finger off, all because he won't tell her the truth of what he did to the brothers. We also learn in flashbacks that the mom knew the whole time. I mean, there's so much packed into this. And then, of course, Oz breaks out, because he always does.
Right.
But, dude, his mom tries to kill him and then falls down.
That was gangster.
Yes.
Smashed the bottle and stabbed her own son.
Yep.
That was
literally
gangster.
says some of the most hurtful shit. Like, he's doing all this for his mom, and she's like, I hate you.
Right.
I've always hated you.
Right.
Dude, that was a savage scene and moment.
And especially how he's always felt about her.
Right.
And only wanted her approval.
Correct.
Even to the point where he did what he did at the end.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Yeah, I need to brace myself there. So that amazing scene.
Yeah.
You know, we see some stuff with Victor trying to find Oz, the whole deal. And then the next big standout scene for me is Sophia's scene with the mobsters.
Hold on, before you get there.
Yeah.
So when he escapes that,
Yep.
and I said this in the past, this penguin is a beast, dude.
Oh yeah, he just picks his
moms up, runs out hobbles out the fucking building, jumps in the car and like skids.
Like,
off
bro,
and
don't you
stuff
foot her? The fuck you doing? No, I'm sorry, dude. Well, I'm not sorry. If I'm Oz, I'll leave that bitch right there. You hate me, deuces. See ya.
It doesn't work that way, dude. All psychology.
I know. So, anyways, but that other scene when all the mobsters are at the Falcone estate. And dude, Sophia's just like this. I mean, Kristen Milioti just commands the attention in these scenes.
Right.
Like, she's got the bottle of the gin Hendrix on the table. She's pouring it. Eating the. She always got something about eating like really sloppy and shit.
Right.
But just the way that she's face to face with some of these top mobsters and like don't give a fuck. Dude.
Right.
She lays out the kind of the bounty for Oz. She wants to leave Gotham. The whole deal. Dude, that scene where she burns down the house, it's just awesome.
Yeah.
She's walking around. She got the 3 cigarettes in her mouth. She lights all 3 of them. She's pouring freaking, gin just about everywhere.
Right.
And just one by one. That was a badass scene.
Yeah, it was. It was. A lot's happening in that house, dude.
Oh, my God. Yeah. And you see the subtle things like the music. There's that song, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? There's a million renditions of this song. There's a Nirvana version. I forget who. This is one of the newer ones. Not my favorite rendition, but I think it fit that scene perfectly.
Right.
It was just awesome, dude. It was, and then there was the setup. Oz sets up Sophia again.
That was a masterful stroke, dude.
Right.
That was he played on this guy's ego.
Yep.
Because the politicians typically they want to be in the spotlight.
Correct.
They want to advance, and they're always looking for some reason or something to advance them.
Yep.
And Oz just laid it out, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. He gave him everything.
Right.
Gave him everything.
You're gonna see pieces of her car, buried underground.
Yep.
She plastic explosive this place,
right.
And this is why she did this, and so on and so forth. So you're gonna find Marconi down there,
right?
Pieces of him anyway.
Yep.
So he just laid it out for him.
Yeah, dude, and it was
masterstroke,
dude. And the I'll say the cool part because it's fucked up, but it was cool how they mimicked exactly what happened the first time. Penguin was her driver.
Right.
He set her up there too. He told on her to her dad.
Yeah.
She gets pinned for the Hangman murders, gets taken away when Oz is his driver. And the same, he's like, hey, let's just go take a ride, kind of for old times.
Right.
Sets her up. They make you think Oz is going to kill her.
Right. Well, but the thing about it is right before that. So first of all, I thought when she burnt the house down, remember when they first caught her, the cops came and surrounded the car? I thought that was going to happen.
Oh, it was going to happen right there.
Yeah, I thought it was going to happen right there. But, her weakness was that her revenge, which is why she ended up going to the airport in the first place.
Yep.
She should have just went overall, you forgot all that shit and just moved on to something else. But nope.
Nope, she couldn't. The revenge got her. Yes, it's true. She could have bounced to wherever she was going.
Right. And then when she showed up, she knew something was off when Oz started smirking and stuff.
Yep.
That was funny.
Dude, and then Zhao just gets smoked by his. And that was a cool setup, too, with, I guess Victor played a big role in that.
Right.
Getting the lieutenants, if you will, to kind of take out the bosses.
Right. It's a new day.
Yeah.
And these are the things that can happen if you do these things. That was also a masterful stroke
Absolutely.
for Victor. And
dude.
Yeah,
so we got.
Anyway, we'll get there.
Yeah, well, we're about to get there. We get Sophia set up.
Yeah,
I thought that was a great. The tension there was great, dude.
Yeah.
Because every party is like, he's not gonna kill her, but you're like, well, what else is he doing out here?
Right.
And then you see the police lights and all that deal, right? They take her, he bounces, she's back in Arkham. Dude, talk about a shitty ending for Sophia.
Right. Well, but she got some solace.
She did.
Right.
She got a little letter from her half sister.
Right.
So we'll see how that plays out. But Victor. So there's a scene, Oz, Victor, they're sitting on this park bench. They're drinking. They're connecting, dude, right? I mean, Victor's like thanking him, dude. You're like family, which a lot of things that Victor said were true. I mean, we've seen them bond. You've said this before. Oz, as much as he's going to care about someone, we thought he cared about Victor. And then, dude, he just chokes his ass out. Yeah. Kills him. That was one of those, like, it was almost hard to watch. Like,
well, we kind of knew something was going to happen to Victor, whether it was Sophia or something. I didn't expect that.
Right.
But we knew something was going to happen because there was never a Victor in Penguin's life. Right. But the shitty part about it is that, he takes out the guy that helps him build the thing.
I know.
But the side piece, he keeps her.
Right. And I don't know that he knows that she gave up his location to Sophia.
I'm sure he does not. He does not.
Because I think she'd be done too.
Yeah.
But yeah, in the way he did, he was like talking about where they're going and this and that, and he goes like, I can't take you with me.
Right.
And to hear him beg for his life,
right? Like,
please, Oz, no. And then even as he's killing him, he's like, no, you were a good dude. Like,
Yeah.
It was a fucked up scene, bro.
Yeah, that was emotional. And then and after that, he takes his wallet out, makes it seem like a robbery, takes the money out, right? And then takes his license and throws it in the river and just drops the wallet. So that was some cold
that was,
shit.
Dude.
I mean, this dude was absolutely a monster.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
And he always has been.
Yes.
Apparently.
Correct. Yeah, since he was a child.
Right.
And then from there, we go to his new compound or whatever.
Well, he kept his promise to his mom.
Yep.
Right. The penthouse overlooking the city.
Yeah.
So he put it there.
He's got her in this vegetative state, just looking out to Gotham. Right. And then we do see a little tear on her because she can't move.
So she's in there.
She's in there.
She just can't express herself.
Yeah, she can't say anything, can't move, but she got emotion still.
Right.
And then this is where, like, dude.
Yeah, this is a monster is when you kill Victor. The sick part is when you do what you do after.
Right. You go downstairs. We see the girl, Eve, I think her name is maybe. Eve or something like that. She's got the mom's dress on.
Yep.
She's got her hair styled very similar to the mom. And not to mention, she kind of looks similar to the mom in general.
She does.
Everything from a build to
the eyes, everything.
And my man's dancing with her and basically role playing as if she's the mom. He's calling her mom. He's asking her to, tell me you're proud of me and all this shit.
Right,
And it's sick because he's literally doing all these things in an attempt to make his mom proud of him, but the whole time his mom is despised.
Right.
Or despises him.
Yes.
It's really fucked up.
Well, he wants to get to, what he wants to get to. I mean, you love your mom. You want to, smash your mom. So now he gets that opportunity.
No, I don't know that. Thoughts never crossed my mind. But yeah, it ended almost unsettling.
That's a perfect word for the ending. Unsettling. It was like, what the fuck just happened?
Correct. Now all this stuff that's happened, and I think this show had it was one of the most perfect endings you could have for a comic show done this way, because we didn't see Batman the whole time.
Right.
We didn't need to see Batman the whole time, but this is getting a little too big.
Right.
You're now the Falcons, home has been burnt down. Sophia gets caught, gets all the shit pinned on her.
The Marconis are gone.
Yep,
Maronis are gone. You got this giant explosion in the middle
Correct.
of the city. So, yeah.
So now it's like, we see him dancing with his mom/girl. Mm-hmm. The camera pans out. We're looking over Gotham. And by the way, dude, they've done a great job. And they've continued, started in the Batman and now in the show of the portrayal of Gotham City.
Right.
You had Gotham City as a hidden gem like a year ago.
Yep.
Because of how awesome and fucked up Gotham is.
Absolutely.
And they caught that tone. And even at the end of this, almost like Gotham was even darker now.
Right.
And we see the bat symbol go up in the air, cut the credits. Dude, I don't know about you, but I'm here and I've seen this a lot on TikTok over the past week. I am ready to see the Batman beat the living shit out of Oz. Fuck you, Oz. I'm ready, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you were useful.
Yeah.
You were a good dog, but it's time to put
It's
you
time,
down,
bro.
Dude, I mean, you're just doing too much now. You're killing all the chickens.
Oh, my
You're
God.
raping the ducks.
Yeah.
I mean, you're just doing everything. You're just over the
Right.
top, dude. It's time to go.
Yep. You pushed my man to the and now the light goes on and fucking Battinson is coming for your ass, boy. But yeah, I'm ready for it, dude. It's funny. I saw some TikToks where people were watching the scene from the Batman, the car chase, where Batman gets the Penguin, and they're like, because they're so pissed about Victor dying, they wanted to go back and watch Batman get Oz. So, like, I'm not falling on that yet, but it's a good idea. I mean, well, some satisfaction.
They wanted him to get him so bad they'll take a temporary,
Right.
a flashback, as opposed to the real thing.
Yeah. So yeah, dude, I'm looking forward. I mean, not that I wasn't before, but this was what I say in the beginning. What they should do in this show, and I think I even predicted this because I am he who is right, obviously.
Sure.
But I said that when we found out Batman wasn't going to be in it, I said the best thing for them to do is run this show and give us a reason for Batman to get involved at the end, and that's exactly what they did.
Right.
And talking about this show as a whole, I don't think there was a bad episode. There was some not as good as others, sure, but every episode to me was done properly. They told a great story. They it wasn't something that was easy to predict what was next, which was great, and they stayed true to the tone they set from the beginning. And I think one of the best things about this show is they showed us what you can do with some of these sideline characters without the main character.
Right.
They also, the way they treated a villain, because what happens so often in these movies, Morbius, Madam Web, Venom, hopefully it doesn't happen in Kraven the Hunter, where even Agatha, they take a villain and make that villain a hero.
Right.
We don't need Penguin to be a hero. Right. Penguin is a douchebag.
Yep.
Let him be a douchebag.
Yep.
And he was as douchey as can be. So as a whole, dude, I think this is, I'd put this up there, top comic shows ever.
Absolutely.
I mean, the only one that I probably would put in front of this would be like the first season of Daredevil, maybe. I mean, there's not many.
No, this is top.
You put this top. Okay.
And Daredevil will be, a close second. But,
got it.
Definitely this is top. Matter of fact, there was only probably one, I won't say disappointing, but one kind of predictable show. Yeah. And I think it was the one before Top Hat.
Okay.
It was just kind of, the flashbacks.
Oh, yeah.
All that kind of stuff. That was kind of like,
Yeah.
But outside of it, but the very next episode redeemed it.
Absolutely.
And then this ending was just, dude, I'm blown away.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. So are you on the train of wanting to see Batman beat the shit out of Oz now?
Well, it doesn't. Sure. I mean, we saw Maroni do that. So, and he got up. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure Battinson's not going to have a heart attack.
He's going to have no heart attack. That's for damn sure.
What happens with Batman? Because he can't show up in court.
Right.
They end up going to Arkham, and they end up getting out anyway.
Correct.
So, I mean.
Yep. Yeah, but just the satisfaction of him punching him in that disfigured face, But, yeah, dude, if to give this, I guess, show a score, from a entire series standpoint, I'd give it a solid 9.5, dude.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
9.5, definitely.
The only downfall for me, not even a downfall, it's a nitpick, and someone like, you guys complain about everything, then don't fucking watch. That's all you have to do. It's very simple. You don't like what I say, don't fucking listen to me. Right. It's very simple. Earmuffs.
Exactly.
But anyways, the Jullian Rush, I hated that character.
Yeah.
And I hated the actor's portrayal. I didn't like anything about that.
Right.
I would have just preferred them to make the character Jonathan Crane and have him be Scarecrow.
Right. It was like, what was his purpose?
Right.
I mean, it was like just
to be an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, it's like the actor and the character shouldn't have been in the show at all.
Leaving this, I definitely like. This is probably the best rendition portrayal of the Sophia Falcone character. I mean, they changed a lot from the comics, but they did remain true to the core of who that character is. And I want to see more of this character on screen.
I'd rather see the kid act the kid Penguin. He did a phenomenal job. He did
too, yeah,
dude. That kid knocked that role out the park. So it would be great to see him, in something in the future.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind some more flashbacks throughout. Like, I'm not flashback heavy, but like, when done right, they're great. Right. And they did a good job of casting too. I hate when there's a flashback and the character looked and acts nothing like the character, from the future. But dude, he sounds like Oz. He walks like Oz. Like, it was great. Even the actress who played the younger version of the mom, that was great as well. Like, it felt like the same character.
Yep.
So yeah, kudos to DC and this whole Elseworlds deal. Like, I mean, really, Matt Reeves. I mean, it's unfair, I think, to give James Gunn credit for this. I mean, he didn't do anything to screw it up, so thanks for that, right? But I mean, thanks for just recognize. So I guess you could give him credit in this way. Thanks for recognizing that Matt Reeves knows what he's doing here and just letting him do his thing.
Exactly. Let that man cook.
Let this man cook.
There you go. There was a rumor, not a rumor. This actually was confirmed by Colin Farrell. So there was a scene in the 8th episode where a kid says, "You are the Penguin, aren't you?" And then he says something about his mother, and then Oz says to him at the end of the scene, "You go tell your mom the Penguin takes care of his own." I think he gives him some money or something. So it was like almost like a good ending and making Penguin okay with the name. I'm glad this was left out because, again, you're not supposed to like the villain.
Right.
It was like the whole thing with the Homelander. Homelander's the villain? Yeah, dumbass. You know how he just kills innocent people? That's usually like villain-esque, characteristics.
And people that's going to like those type of characters are going to like him anyway. Like Charles Manson, people wanted to sending him love letters, wanting to marry him. I mean, that kind of stuff. So you don't have to go out of your way to make people like the character. People like the violence anyway, right?
Yeah. And then the other thing that was originally different was the way Victor was going to die. So there was at one point where there was going to be a struggle between Sophia and Oz, and then Sophia was going to manipulate things in a way to where Oz turned against Victor, and so it wouldn't have been as tragic. And it almost would give him a reason to kill, which, again, I think they chose the right path because and I'm curious of your opinion on this. I believe the reason he killed Victor was because Victor saw his weakness. He saw him at his weakest moments, the stuff with his mom and all that shit. And Penguin he's getting into this political arena almost. But he's basically the boss now. I bet he is. There's no one above him as far as the streets are concerned. And I think he didn't want someone around him who had seen him in this weak moment as a vulnerable person. That's my thought.
Well, he pretty much said that. You see me, at my worst, you see me with my mom, things like that. So, yeah, I agree.
I think that makes the most sense.
That's why he did it. But also, and I'm glad they didn't do the Sophia route, right? Because choking somebody out is very personal. Yeah. I mean, he didn't shoot him. He didn't stab him. He didn't blow him up. He didn't do anything. He choked this person that he loves, obviously. He choked this person out because he is potentially afraid that he would be put in a position in the future that would compromise what he's trying to do.
Correct.
So that's a very personal thing. So that was like, as much as it sucks, that was the perfect ending, like you said, for that show and for Victor.
Yeah, absolutely. So Dude, keep cooking. There's rumors of some other Batman villain spinoffs coming. We know that the Batman 2 isn't scheduled for, I think, 2026, so we have a whole year in advance for that. But keep them coming, dude. I really don't care what character you bring to us. I know the Joker series that rumor was shut down by James Gunn. That's not happening. There was some rumor of a Harvey Dent-esque story that I'm down with. At first I wasn't, but seeing this show, I'm down with it, dude.
No, I've seen enough of Harvey Dent. I'd like to see Catwoman.
Yeah.
I'd like to see maybe the Riddler. Flush out some of these other Batman characters.
Yeah.
That's kind of in the background, because really Penguin is the lowest character in Batman's world for me.
Yeah.
But then to have him make a show like this,
right.
It's like, damn, dude, if you can do that with the Penguin,
yeah,
I mean, you can do that with any of the other guys.
Right. And I don't know that I need to see Joker's background fleshed out. I think that's part of the allure of the Joker character. Like, you can maybe some explanation as to why he's disfigured, because it's a little different take on Joker, sure. Right. But I don't need to know everything about the Joker.
Right. I think right now we need a time of healing.
Yeah.
Off of this musical that just dropped into streaming a month after it hit theaters.
Well, the rumor is Joker will be a bigger he's going to be in the Batman 2, but he's going to be a bigger part of the third Batman movie, which will be nice for a change. It'd be nice to build to that Batman joke, because I hear that it's too much Joker, but it's also, I'm of the opinion of you can't have Batman without Joker.
Right.
And now you can't have, or you shouldn't have Joker without Batman. We've seen how that fucking worked out two times. Yeah. Todd Phillips. Don't let that man cook. Matter of fact, you're banned from the kitchen, bro.
There you go.
Fuck out of here. Moving on. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or as you renamed it, I don't know how you came up with this, dude. Doctor Strange 2, right? That's what you said, 2.
Yeah, 2.
Is it because it's the second movie?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. All right. So... When you before you rewatched this, what was your memory of this movie? Good, bad, average?
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm.
It was like
mid?
Yeah, mid.
Okay.
Mid.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Now, after rewatching, are you still there? Is it better or worse than you remember?
It's better.
It's better.
It's better, yeah.
I think so too, dude. I think this movie got a lot of unwarranted shit.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like the cool thing to do is shit on the multiverse story.
Yeah.
Like, it's so bad. I don't know about that. I'd say that here's my kind of notes here. It starts off really good.
Yeah. There's
a lot of explanation, new rules kind of thrown at you, multiverse, America Chavez, all this, dream walking, all that shit. So there's a lot of new rules. I think visually, for the most part, it's amazing. Yes, I know everyone who's a CGI expert will critique the CGI in some parts, but I remember back in the day, like how some of these movies. I was watching the Santa Claus last night, and there's a scene where like he's on the sleigh going through the clouds and shit, and it looks like I drew it on a fucking napkin with crayon.
Tim Allen?
Yes,
I love those.
It's a great movie.
Yeah. You see all three of them?
Unfortunately, I have. Yes, the only one I ever want to see again is the first one. I watch that often, but the second one's okay, and the third one is just ridiculous. Yeah. So, anyways, small critiques aside, visually, I think this movie's amazing. Scarlet Witch as a villain is top tier MCU.
Absolutely, dude.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like,
I'm like, that's crazy power right there.
Dude, maybe we'll test this later, but I'm even leaning towards she's a better villain than a hero so far. But anyways, I really like the setup with Wanda. Wanda's trauma is the reason why she took this kind of villainous path. There's some nonsense in this movie, like the whole Black Bolt thing. I'll never be a fan of that. How he just killed himself with his own powers. Before I ask you, last two things. One, the incursions. We see incursions here. Yep. I think with Secret Wars, that's going to play a big role in the MCU. So I think this is one of those things that maybe went under the radar, but it's kind of like Thor: The Dark World. As shitty as that movie was, a lot of what happened in that movie tied into Endgame and ended up going back to get the Reality Stone or whatever. But seeing the incursions, I think it looked very cool, and I think we're going to see more of that. And then we had the zombie. Now, this is probably where we're going to disagree because you're a zombie guy. I'm not a big zombie guy. I didn't the biggest thing about this movie I didn't like is how the ending involved not the Doctor Strange that we know. He was inside of this zombie body, and the zombie pretty much saved that I didn't really like.
Well, technically, he wasn't. It was a dead body, not a zombie body.
Okay.
A zombie means that you come back and you don't know who you are. You're just going around feeding. He used a body that was already dead and dismembered. I mean, not dismembered. Disfigured and all this kind of stuff from what happened. When the
so
thing
yeah,
first
it's not the true definition.
So it's not
of
a zombie.
Yeah.
It's just a dead, reanimated body.
Sounds even worse now that you put it that way. So that's probably my biggest, that and then the waste of the Illuminati, how she just wipes them out real quick. Like that was it was a lot of stuff. But
yeah.
What about you? Rewatching this, what are some things that stood out to you?
What stood out? First of all, how powerful Wanda is.
Shit.
I mean, when Strange went to her to ask her to come help.
Yes.
He walked into an altered reality.
Yep, and didn't even know it. Yep.
And then she just changed all that. Mm-hmm. In the end, where she lifted that whole top of the mountain and just dropped it back down on herself. That was pretty good. It was impressive how the guardians of that place, of the Darkhold place, was. How they designed them, and then how they responded to her. That was pretty impressive. The flipping through the multiverses, that was impressive.
That was cool, yeah.
Especially the crayon one or whatever. So that was pretty cool. The nonsense with the guy from the living whatever, with the mustard, that was that was kind of nonsense, but whatever. Strange's outfit was pretty cool.
Yeah. Like the main Strange?
Yeah. Definitely authentic, as the hot dog vendor dude says. He was for Campbell. That's his name. From those he went back into time or something. It was like, you ever seen any of those? I'll look them up. It's like, you're not big into zombies, so you won't watch it anyway.
Fuck that. No.
See what else? The America.
Yep.
The actress.
Yeah.
She was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole Illuminati being wiped out, and they up there bragging, let her come. We just wipe it. No, you didn't.
No, you won't. I love that when Strange is like, they're not coming back, bro.
Right.
Like, I like going back to that scene with Scarlet Witch. Just some of these really, like, I love Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda, Scarlet Witch. Like, she's one that, she's younger too, so just let her play that character for the next 10 years.
She's 90 years old.
I don't know about that, but give her another 10 years. But I love her dialogue and I love her acting. And when she calls out the hypocrisy, like, to Doctor Strange, like, when you do this, you use your magic to whatever save the world. You're a hero, but when I do it, everyone's against me or whatever. And I like when she goes, Wanda, you created your children with magic. She's like, that's what every mother does.
Exactly.
Like, just some really cool lines.
Yep.
But she's dude, Wanda don't give a fuck.
Right. She wants what she wants.
She knows what she wants, and it makes. Like, as much as I can say this makes sense in a multiverse movie about kids that you manifested, whatever, but the idea of the trauma that Wanda's going through, like, we saw her have to destroy her husband's head, and then that undone 2 seconds later by Thanos with the time stone just to rip it out himself. So she had to live through killing her husband to try to save the universe. It was all for nothing.
Right.
Then she goes fucking ape shit when she finds out that not S.H.I.E.L.D., Sword, I think is the new name. They're using Vision's body to then create a new Vision for themselves. And she can't even bury her damn husband.
Right.
So she goes ape shit, creates this fantasy world and recreates her husband and then has kids that she ends up treating as real children. And that's taken away from her. So I can see how someone's going to go off the loony
she's
bin.
a little, emotional.
Correct. And then you mix the Darkhold into this, and that not only gives you the power, but as the other Strange said, it extracts a heavy toll.
Right.
What'd you think of the two Stranges, the kind of evil Strange versus, the main Doctor Strange, that fight in the universe where the incursion happened?
I think the first Strange, what you call the evil Strange,
Yep.
is probably older, more experienced
Yep.
than 616 Strange.
Sure.
So he's seen more, so he's able to come to these conclusions a lot faster.
Yeah.
So he attempted to kill America to take her power. Like, you don't know how to use it, but I do.
Right.
That was just a snap decision to him.
Yeah.
And it's just he just felt like he's made a lot of those decisions in his life.
Sure.
So I think he was probably a little older than the other one, or had more dynamic experiences. I mean, you see him popping around where they were, and our Steven 616,
right.
He's popping, going, getting dressed to go to a wedding.
Sure.
Even though that was cool how he jumped off the building, though.
Yeah, it was.
That was cool.
He was ready to go, bro.
Yep.
He was ready to go.
So I didn't dislike the evil Strange. I just think that it was based on his experiences and his exposures. He came to the only conclusion that he was able to come to.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I actually, this is a scene I think that gets mixed feelings about online. When he's fighting, when the two Doctor Stranges are fighting, and they start, the musical notes get incorporated. They're using magic. There's some music sheets or something, the piano or some shit. I forget exactly how, but then they're throwing those back and forth, and you're hearing the music. I thought that was cool as shit, dude.
Sure.
I liked it.
Yeah.
And then that's what ended up he ended up killing that Strange, because all this magic's kind of like, you got like a log jam of magic. You know, I'm an expert here. So there's a log jam of magic, Adrian, because there's too much magic from both sides. And then Strange sends that one little note over, explodes the whole shit, and my man lands right on top of that fence, dude. Dude, this thing kind of, it was a little, I'd say, bloody at times and graphic to be a PG-13 movie. Now, language-wise, they didn't, wasn't anything that inappropriate, but it walked that line.
Sure.
And Sam Raimi, he directed this, so his back into the comic book world. I thought he did a great job. I thought this movie, I do like it more than I did the first time. I'd give it a solid probably 7.
Yeah, definitely.
And you mentioned, you like I asked you a week ago, I like the Doctor Strange movies. The first one was great as well.
Yes.
That was a really good. I
was surprised though. I was surprised how good it was. It wasn't, across the Spider-Verse, but it was still a good, watchable movie.
Sure.
Unlike, others.
Yes, the Eternals. What? What'd you say?
Morbius. Venom,
all 3.
Yep.
Anyways, Doctor Strange.
Captain Marvel.
Doctor Strange 2, as we're officially renaming it here on Only Comics, Doctor Strange 2. But yeah, dude, I like this Doctor Strange character. He's another character that the MCU has improved for me. I was not a massive Doctor Strange fan in the comics. I always knew he was powerful as shit, but I never got into like Doctor Strange comics. It was always, there's an event, there's the Avengers, there's the wizard with his cape and shit,
Actually, that's one person, and I'm not going to let this go. That's one person who's potentially richer than T'Challa.
Strange.
Really? Because he can magically make himself as rich as he wants.
Okay. All right. True. Real quick before we move on and get into the tail end of this show here, I wanted to go. We didn't do hit or miss cast today. Or no, we did. We didn't do what the fuck Rotten Tomatoes. I got something a little different. We're going to look at the multiverse. You don't have to bring it up. I'm going to throw these out.
Yeah.
We're going to look at the Infinity Saga versus the Multiverse Saga, because there's people out there, probably you watching, that are like, the Multiverse Saga sucks so bad and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to remind everybody where we were from a hit or miss standpoint. So right now, Adrian, we are in the Multiverse Saga. We are in phase 5 of the sagas. This is the second phase of the Multiverse Saga. So phase 4 was the first. And we have seen so far 7, 8, 9, 10 movies. Okay. If we backtrack to the Infinity Saga, if we only saw 10 movies, we would have seen Iron Man, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2, Thor, the first Cap movie, the first Avengers. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It would have brought us all the way through Guardians of the Galaxy. So we're just going to go hit, miss, and see if we've had more misses now versus the Infinity phase at this phase, okay? You know what I mean. All right, number 1. Iron Man, hit or miss?
Hit.
The The Incredible Hulk, hit or miss?
Miss.
Iron Man 2.
It's, well, more of a hit than a miss. So
Okay.
hit.
I would say, for this scale, I would say miss.
Okay.
Okay.
If you put it like that, miss.
Yeah. Thor, the first Thor.
Hit.
Yeah, I think that movie's aged better.
Yeah. Considering the fact that it's like who asked for a Thor movie.
Correct.
And then it was better than it was expected.
And it was a lot better than the second Thor, which we'll get to. The Captain America First Avenger, hit. And The Avengers, hit. So I guess we're saying Incredible Hulk and Iron Man 2, we're calling miss.
Right,
So it's got 2 misses so far. Phase 2, and we're going to stop at Guardians of the Galaxy. Iron Man 3. McGransky, hey, I personally love this movie, but ranking it up against these Avengers, these other movies, would you say Iron Man 3 was a hit or miss?
I still go with a hit.
I go with a hit, too. It's a great Christmas movie. Thor: The Dark World.
Wait a minute. Your fingers are for the misses, not the
Oh,
hits.
what am I doing? Fucking,
Hey, just,
Hey, guys, edit that out, too. Don't have me looking stupid on here. Jesus. Thor: The Dark World. This movie should count as 2 misses. It was so bad, but we're going to give it 1. I was jumping the gun. I was giving this one a miss before I even got there. Cap Winter Soldier, hit. And then the first Guardians of the Galaxy, hit. So 3 misses.
Right.
Okay. So now let's go back. Let's go to recent times here. Now, Multiverse Saga, Phase 4 started with Black Widow. Hit or miss?
Miss. For me.
I would say that's a hit.
Yeah.
I think it came too late, but as a movie, so
well, that's part of the miss.
Yeah.
I mean, it was out of place.
Okay. All right. I can buy that. So we'll say miss. Shang-Chi, Legend of the Ten Rings. You haven't seen that.
I haven't seen it, so
I say that's a hit. That's one I need to rewatch. Eternals, miss.
Dude didn't even get the word out.
No, miss.
Just stopped at the E.
Yeah,
we know what you're talking about,
man. I don't get the Eternals hate. Nobody's hating it. This is a shitty movie. I hated what they did with the Eternals. You're right.
Start your own podcast and talk about how good the Eternals are.
There you go. Spider-Man: No Way Home, hit. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, hit. Thor: Love and Thunder. Don't even miss.
Don't even need to say it.
Black Panther: Wakanda for hit, miss. Ant-Man: Quantum, miss. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. I had that hit, dude.
Yeah. Hit.
The Marvels. I'm gonna say hit.
I'm gonna say hit. Yeah.
Yep. And then Deadpool and Wolverine, massive hit.
Right.
So we have 5 misses here. We had 3 in the first one.
Right.
So you got 2 more misses. I mean, well, does that mean it's worse? Slightly. But I'm also going to remember where we were at this point. So we were at when the Guardians of the Galaxy movie came out, you had no idea really. Like the Reality Stone story just started, or the Infinity Stones just kind of started. It was like your first little real tease of Thanos. Like we didn't really know what direction they were going at that point. So to say that this has been I guess the question would be, has the Multiverse Saga been a failure so far?
Absolutely not.
No, I don't think so.
Absolutely not.
I don't think so.
I think what people are experiencing is that is so mind-bending. You actually have to think about what this means. I just want to see my characters. I just want to see Mike Tyson fight. You got to understand it's bigger than just your favorite characters. Now, what also I think escapes people is that there is a ending to these things.
Right.
So you have, like Infinity Crisis on the DC side, then the Secret Wars on the Marvel side. Those are the endings of. So just be patient. It will happen, and we'll get back to Daredevil, beating up, bums in Hell's Kitchen.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. The multiverse is
it's a process.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It is a lot. And I guess one of the biggest differences now with where we are in this saga versus the Infinity Saga, you didn't have to watch every single thing to understand what was going on because it was so new. The Multiverse Saga, the more you've seen, the better it is.
Right.
And that's hard for a new viewer, but we're not new viewers. The people watching, I don't think, are new viewers. Like, we've been here for the long haul. It's kind of like, let's wrap up this story for us. It's been, 10 years, going to be 15, 20 by the time they're done.
Right.
Let's wrap this story for those of us that have been here for the long haul, and then let's get back to some more grounded shit.
What's interesting is that Marvel is going live action with their multiverse, and DC went animation with their multiverse.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well, moving on from that, we're going to go rapid fire through a little We Respond, Hidden Gem, and wrap this thing up with Agree to Disagree. So,
let's do it.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
All right. So, Johnny Sparta Jr. says, do better, guys. He says, let me give you a rumor. You guys have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I have a source close to Gunn that Superman is rough cut, is off the charts. Downey only signed because it's a $150 million deal. They pieced together the story after Majors got charged. They trashed their ideas of a Silver Surfer movie and some special something to Disney+. Blade has been delayed because the script wasn't what they wanted. Midnight Suns got scrapped because Moon Knight failed. Get better sources, bro. Hey, Johnny, shut the fuck up and do your own podcast if you want, because we're just reporting rumors. And matter of fact, everything you said is not much different than what we said. Right. So anyways, and that's hey, if you don't like, don't watch. There's just other stuff out there. I know they're not as good. That's the problem, though. There's nothing else to watch because we're the best comic podcast out there, Adrian. The Dark Dad returns.
And haters are going to hate.
They're going to hate, yep. As they say, as you say back in the day, they hate us because they ain't us. There you go. The Dark Dad returns. What's up, Mike and Adrian? Killing it as usual. Thanks for responding to my last question. My son loved it. Adrian, thanks for your service. We had a lot of those this past week. He's a fellow vet, so there you go.
Cool.
You guys probably know each other, you know. As the political season is winding down, I thought a cool way to mix in other stuff with comics is to have a comic villain election. Few villains have actually run for government, and off the top of my head, there's Penguin, Kingpin, Lex Luthor, Loki, Ross, etc. But if you had to vote for one president of all of these basically comic villains, who would you pick? I'd go with Kingpin, dude. Fuck it, why not? Put him in charge.
I mean, we already got we got a clown coming into office, so it wouldn't be a far stretch to just electing a clown. I mean,
Joker.
He was some ruler.
He is a dictator.
In another country, right?
Let's talk about that, the better. But yeah, all right. Moving on. Arm Stew. Okay, and these are a YouTube we're going through right now. I always wanted to know how y'all met. And you told us on the podcast. Thank you so much. Dude, you ask and we deliver. That's how we work here, right? Captain Canada, 83rd episode. Amazing accomplishment and more to come. You're damn right. Thanks for another great episode. Love the sound bites. Marvel, hear them out. They got ideas. So he's trying to thank you. Yeah, Marvel, seriously.
Right.
Like they have like an official Marvel podcast. What the fuck? You just have us.
Exactly.
Maple Grove. He's a repeat.
And we'll take DC as a side hustle.
Absolutely. Yeah. Light work, dude. Maple Grove says, hey, guys, thanks for another great show. Love from Ireland. Dude, we are worldwide, Adrian.
Oh, man.
Ireland. Question for you both. I love the X-Men. Mike mentioned House of M. Would you guys recommend to read as what would you guys recommend to read as good X-Men stories? And then a follow-up, what is your opinion of Daken, Wolverine's son? Daken, you know who that is?
Never heard of him.
No, I've heard of him, but I don't know much about him. He says he's pretty interesting, so I'll probably look into that. But good X-Men stories. Man Loves, God Kills. That's the one that X-Men X2 is based on. Mm-hmm. That's a great story. Dark Phoenix, the original Phoenix. Fatal Attractions is another great one. There's so many, dude. I mean, those are some that really stick out to me. Mm-hmm. Again, House of M, not really an X-Men story, but that's a great one. Anything I'm leaving out that you think's
no, not that I can think of off the top of my head.
The original Wolverine, the one we saw, the claws in the front, Frank Miller, that's a great one too. So any of those, dude. Buster Barnes, MCU Thor is nowhere near as fast as DCEU Superman. We were talking about who would win in a fight. Mm-hmm. Well, dude, it's not a race, so that's great. And if Thor can get taken out by Valkyrie casually throwing a shock device, he doesn't stand a chance against Superman, who can keep up with the Flash. Here's what I'll say about that. The DCEU Superman couldn't handle 50-year-old Batman on a rooftop because he had a little rock that screen called Kryptonite.
Right.
Thor would dog walk Superman in the MCU, DCEU.
I'm trying to think what's the basis of Thor's power, because if it's magic, it's a rat.
Right. I would. Is it magic?
It's. I'm not gonna say because we get fucking raked across the coals. Mythology.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not like Black Adam magic.
Correct.
I mean, magic is magic.
Sure.
But,
Scarlet Witch with
something to think
dog walk
about.
Superman.
Oh my God, dude.
Oh shit! I got something for later. All right, Jay Buck. He's the guy who was talking shit about this,
Yeah.
and we roasted him last week. He goes, "I did not expect y'all to read my comment, much less get roasted." But see, he's a good sport, and the reason I read his comment is a fucking lesson for some of y'all. Thank you for making Mondays great again. You're welcome. New to comics, but I've been on a tear reading the different Batman recommendations. Keep them up. You fucking got it, dude. Here's another one for you. Dark Victory. It's a sequel to Long Halloween. You picked this one up. You haven't read it yet.
I haven't read it yet.
Phenomenal. Same writer, Jeff Loeb. Same artist, Tim Sale. And it's right up there, neck and neck with the Long. You know how I love the Long Halloween.
Right.
Dark Victory is the Hangman story, which we saw parts of in the Penguin. So that is that's another one. There you go. If you haven't read that, J Buck, check it out. And don't be talking shit about our sound bites. Russell Dow's. Maybe this is Rachel Dow's brother, the Maggie Gyllenhaal one. Thanks for the response, gentlemen. Pulling a 12-hour shift on the mail route today. It's nice to... Damn, 12 hours. Nice to have you listen to your show. Makes the day go by. Dude, well, we only got about 2 hours for you, so you have to listen to all the old ones.
There you go.
Here's some real obscure hidden gems for you from Son of Sekhmet. Nth Man, Ninth Man, NTH Man. Never heard of it. And Death's Head. And Sons of Sekhmet says the sound bits were cracking me up. Let's see. We're going to skip through some of these just for the sake of time. Sparta also says Marvel needs to hire you guys to be their official podcast show. We definitely believe that. Oh, here's another one. Never Fail 032. Who do you got in a cage match between Black Panther, no suit, no powers, versus Batman, no suit, no gadgets? If T'Challa has taken the heart-shaped herb,
no.
He's saying no.
He's saying no suit, no power.
Oh, Batman.
Definitely Bruce Wayne.
Yep, all day.
Definitely, yep.
It'd be over in 15 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, heart-shaped herb, then no chance. No. Unless Batman has prep time.
Right. Because technically, that herb is Batman's suit.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep. All right. Tone Plus Dart says, yo, love the show. Love from Ireland. Keep up the great work. P. Just says, love the show, guys. Greeting from France. We are worldwide, dude. Only comics worldwide.
That's it.
Shit. Moving through some TikTok comments. Patrick Lawyer says Black Panther movie was ass. Listen, well, he said Black Panther. First of all, you can't even fucking spell. Dude, I'm sorry. I don't see how the second one, I'm with you.
Yeah.
But the first one.
But did he mean the first one? Or
it looks like, well, he said Black Panther, so maybe he's talking about another. He got that. You saw the bootleg videos in New York. He got one of those versions. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
So the other guy says, we were talking about John Turturro, why he turned down the role. It's only going to take him a couple hours on set. He goes, couple hours a week? Tell me you've never set foot on a film set. Oh, excuse me, Martin Scorsese. Tell me you've never set. Anyways.
Well, first of all, no, I never
haven't.
stepped foot on a movie set.
We've said this several times. We are not experts. We are only fans.
Right.
Well, no, not.
Yeah, might want to change that.
No, yeah, we're just fans. Happy Veterans Day, brother. Happy Veterans Day. You got a bunch of these. Thank you for your service,
cool.
Adrian.
Thank you all.
All this. Fellow Traveler, B. Fabus 12, Burn Thepo. Another one, DF Mark something. Support all our fellow veterans. Thank you for your service. Cab Scout here. And then Lackey McKenzie says it's a desperate choice because the majority of their projects post Endgame have been failures. We're talking about some, and we've determined that's not true. So, anyways, dude, we got a few minutes left here. We're gonna wrap up. We got Hidden Gem and then Agree to Disagree. So, what's going on at Hidden Gem this week? Your recommendations or your requests are going through the roof, dude. You get your own hotline.
Well, we're not going to do that, but we can definitely address some of these requests, which is what we're going to do today.
Let's do it.
So today we're going to talk about the Punisher, Francis David Castle, or Born Castiglione, or some shit like that, right? Anyway, he's an anti-hero, which we like. Marvel Comics Came out in Spider-Man 129, so he's a Spider-Man homegrown villain, right? February 1974 as an assassin and an adversary, right? So his thing is that he was this guy. He was originally brought up in 74, so he was a veteran of the Vietnam War, and that's been changed to the mythical made up Saigon War and then the Iraq War to make him current and relevant.
Yeah.
But in all of those, he was a U.S. Marines Corps scout sniper. Went through all the training, all the martial arts. I mean, he's basically went through all the training like a Bruce Wayne would go through.
Yeah.
So pretty much badass. So what got him started was that he left the Marine Corps. He didn't leave the Marine Corps. He went to be a trainer, basically shore duty.
Okay.
In New York, because he wanted to be near his family, which was his wife and his 2 kids. And what ended up happening, they were in Central Park. They witnessed a mob hit, and the mob killed his family for seeing the hit.
Damn.
He tried all the legal ways to get justice. It didn't work out. So he was like, fuck that. I'm going to dish out my own version of justice. So he donned this moniker with the skull, and that is how Frank Castle got started as the Punisher. And his thing was that like nobody likes him, right? Spider-Man don't like him, Captain America. Nobody likes him because his brand of justice is, if he goes down the street and he sees somebody getting mugged, he's not going to talk to him. He's not going to try to talk him down. He will just put a bullet in the head and keep on moving. That's his brand of justice. He's a no-nonsense, very black and white kind of guy. So, he went through as a character through different phases of popularity, right?
Yeah.
At first, they didn't want to really push it out there because he was literally just a serial killer, right? But surprisingly, he grew in popularity. I mean, it doesn't surprise me because if you think about it, most people like that kind of carnage aspect of things. That's why the rated R movies are doing so well now, because they're actually bringing out all the carnage that is comic books.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Pikachu, you got that kind of stuff serves a certain purpose.
Right.
But for the most part, like I say, if you look at the Green Goblin, the Hobgoblin, the Rhino, the Joker. I mean, these are evil people, dude. The Penguin, psychopaths. And so there's going to be a level of death and destruction, and Frank Castle is the epitome of that in Marvel Comics, right? So he goes around dispelling, putting out his version of justice. Now, outside of his training, he has no superpowers, right?
Yeah.
But he has a high tolerance for pain. He will not take drugs even if he's being operated on, because he doesn't like the side effects. It's like having a hangover for him.
Yeah.
It's going to diminish his capabilities after the fact. So he routinely will not take any kind of medication, even if he's been operated on. He has a high threshold for pain. So he'll take gunshots, stab wounds, and just keep on going. He commands of the skill set to utilize a variety of weaponry. Primarily he'll use, guns, knives, things like that. But he will also take his opponent's weapons and use them against them. He's used the Pym particles, Ant-Man. He's taken the Green Goblin's hobgoblin bombs, goblin bombs. He used. The reason the Spider-Man don't like him because he used his web slingers to commit a crime to kind of frame Spider-Man. So he will use other people's weapons, their own shit, against them.
Yeah.
Nick Fury, right? There was one rendition where Rhodes got killed. So Fury talked Frank Castle into wearing the suit that Rhodes wore.
Oh, the War Machine.
The War Machine. So
really?
he donned that for a little while.
Yeah.
But then when they resurrected Rhodes and Stark at some point, he gave the suit back to Rhodes to wear. So he's even done that. So master of all kinds of weapons and stuff. But again, no superpowers. But he's going up against, Ghost Rider. He's going up against, you name it, he's probably done it. Because, again, he's going to go after pretty much anybody that's going to commit any kind of crime. He's killed cops. I don't know who the first person is, but he's like the second in Marvel, some trivia. In Marvel Comics, he has the highest body count of anybody that's killing people.
Oh, killing, because body count can mean a whole different thing now in this Hawk Tuah world, Adrian.
No, not that. Not that.
All right.
He has the highest killing body count.
Gotcha.
The second highest.
The original meaning.
Yeah, the original meaning. He has the second highest kill count in Marvel Comics.
Got it.
Oh, also Goblin Glider, Dr. Octopus's tentacles. So he's gotten into all of that stuff, dude, using everything against other people. He's pretty much a loner, but he does work with other people. And in the movies and in the shows and stuff, they try to pair him up with other people, like the Daredevil, Spiderman, because that's when he really shines. If you think about it, where he just goes around, killing people, then he's really going to be looked at as this mass murderer as opposed to this beloved character. And again, like the Penguin, you don't need to make him a nice person to be loved by comic book fans. And, they love him for other reasons because he's so pretty much black and white, which is his suit. Every other characters like Wolverine, they talk about how Wolverine likes his bright yellow suit because it's distracting to his enemies. So you see it, he shows up on the scene, they're distracted by all the bright lights. Frank Castle's suit is black with the white skull and it's been depicted with the white boots and gloves and stuff like that because he's pretty much death coming after you and stuff.
Got it.
So, what else we got? Some trivia. He's ambidextrous, even though. And I saw this and I thought about the guy playing Bane. So Frank Castle in the comics is 6'3", 225, but John Berthol is only 5'11".
Okay.
So he's a shorter guy, but he pulls it off so well though.
Right.
Nobody really gives a shit.
Sure.
Right.
Because also Punisher's not Bane's side. Like that's a whole different world. Like, and that's the point right there. When we say Tom Hardy at 4'11" shouldn't be playing, Bane, I don't mean that the guy playing Bane needs to be 7 foot tall.
Right.
But get someone who's like 6'2", maybe.
Something.
Right? Like this guy's 5'11". How tall is Punisher in the comics?
6'3".
6'3". Okay, so a few inches off.
Yeah.
But it's not dramatic like Tom Hardy's 4'11" and Bane is 7 feet tall. It's different.
Exactly. And also Bane, his default is probably 6 something, right? And then he just gets bigger after that.
Correct.
After the Venom stuff. But it's interesting that the influence that the Punisher has had outside of the comics, right? So Australian Special Forces, they started wearing the skull on their stuff. Cops would wear their special units. The Iraqi War, you see it all over. Even the U.S. military soldiers and the Iraqis were displaying this skull all over the place. So a lot of influence even outside of the comics because, people apparently like violence.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
But anyway, that's this week, just to keep it short. A very interesting guy. A lot of, he could show up pretty much anywhere in the comics.
Yeah.
I hope to see him, more of him. I think he's going to be in the next Daredevil.
Yep, the Daredevil Born Again show.
Yep. So we'd love to see more of him done properly, of course. Dolph Lundgren played him back in the day, so I don't know whatever that was about. But anyway, Frank Castle, the Punisher.
There you go. Love it, dude. Another great, as Sons of Sekhmet has coined, the 5-star hidden gem presentation. But yeah, dude, I've always been intrigued by Punisher. I'm not watched. I think the most I've seen of Punisher is in those Netflix shows. He's in Daredevil season 2 is where we saw his debut, right?
Right.
I've never even seen the Punisher show itself, which you're a big fan of. So I got to do some homework before Daredevil Born Again drops next year.
I think I don't know who influenced who, but you see the Punisher and you see when you hear these stories about like Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Right. When Chuck Norris, when he steps into the shower, he doesn't turn the water on. He just waits for the shower to start crying. Or when Chuck Norris was born, he drove his mother home.
Right.
It's just like it's that badass kind of guy.
Right.
Where all of these
I thought
things can come from.
Were bad.
Yeah. I think that the Punisher inspired Chuck Norris. We're gonna go with that route.
Yeah,
so,
there we go.
Well, another great job, Adrian. Moving on, wrap this thing up, guys. Hey, chill the fuck out. We know these fucking guys, Adrian. We're gonna have to get some new interns. These guys are not gonna cut it. What do you want for free, though, right?
Exactly.
So, anyways, agree to disagree. This is where we educate you all on how to act like adults, because you guys are children. You whine and cry and complain if someone doesn't like the same popsicle flavor as you. How dare you?
Right.
But we don't do that. We just move on. We just pack our shit up, go home, and come back next week. It's what we do. So, are you ready, Adrian?
Let's do it.
Let's fucking go.
Let's do it. Number 1. So far, the Multiverse Saga has not been a failure.
I agree.
The Penguin Show is proof that we do not need villains to be heroes to have good content.
I agree.
Jullian Rush was the worst thing about the Penguin Show.
Absolutely.
Fucking just end him, dude. Just stop. Doctor Strange 2 was better than Doctor Strange 1.
Again, I'm going to go back to the I would say yes in this context.
Okay.
I would say yes in this context.
All right. Scarlet Witch is a top 5 MCU villain.
Dude, I put her in like top 3.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, you got, would you
You
say
got Phoenix.
Yep.
You got Scarlet Witch.
MCU, though.
Oh,
Villain,
MCU.
villain,
Okay.
villain.
Okay.
You got Thanos is
Yep.
probably number 1,
Yep.
right? I mean, who'd you put above Thanos in the MCU?
I would put Scarlet Witch above.
Really?
Thanos. Oh,
Okay.
yeah. I mean, there was moments. I mean, if it wasn't for Galactic Boy fucking everything up, they could have ended Thanos. I mean, Thor could have ended Thanos.
True.
But, all my feelings, she doesn't like me anymore. Star-Lord with Gamora.
That was
Oh
like
my
a Martha
God.
moment. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
Motherfucker.
No flags on that, dude. I mean, Scarlet Witch won. I think I would slightly put Thanos in front of her just because of the scope of what he was trying to do. But I don't know that there's many MCU villains that are above Scarlet Witch. So y'all let us know. Here's one. Y'all are gonna love this one. I know it. MCU Scarlet Witch would dog walk the DCEU Superman.
I agree.
He beat him like a redheaded stepchild.
She doesn't have to do much because, again, magic doesn't affect Superman as much it does immediately, but it doesn't affect him as much as Kryptonite.
Right.
But it's definitely there.
Oh, God.
And she has plenty.
Yes.
Plenty of it.
Dude, it would be like Jake Paul fighting Mike Tyson. It'd be like the later rounds, like, oh, God.
With or without his ass hanging out. I'm like, dude, why you even do that? You kiss your son on the cheek and then you turn around and your ass is out. What kind of shit is that?
Black Bolt's death in Doctor Strange 2 was the most ridiculous moment of that movie.
I mean, what happens when you're a kid? I mean, you sneeze and you cover your mouth. You just blow his head off?
Yeah, exactly.
Come on,
He's
dude.
never sneezed. He's like 40 years old. He's
Exactly.
never sneezed once. No, that was ridiculous. Like, why didn't he just have him snap his neck or something? I don't know. Or maybe he tries to spit the stuff at her and she's got this power. She stops it and throws it right back at him. There you go. Look at that. Solving everything.
But speaking of that, I also didn't like the arrogance by how they portrayed him as being so arrogant in those scenes.
Yep.
It was like, oh, we got this. You don't have to worry about it. It's like, whatever, dude.
Dude, I love how she was cold. The line she hit Reed Richards with, like, you have kids? Yeah, is their mother still alive? Yeah. That's awesome because she'll be able to take care of them. Like, damn. Marvel needs to hire us as their official podcast host.
Absolutely.
We do not need a Joker origin story.
We do not.
And stop what you're doing. Go subscribe to the Only Comics YouTube page because Only Comics is now worldwide. We got fans all over the country, all over the world.
That's it, dude. Do it.
Do it. Agree. So, anyways, that's the show this week. Another fun. I had fun. Did you have fun?
Oh, I had fun.
Yes, it's fun with Mike and Adrian.
It doesn't feel like 80-something episodes.
No, it doesn't, dude. It's episode 83.
Nice.
Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that. The last thing we're going to do before we wrap this thing up, Broman Williams, so I forgot to shout him out, and we respond. He says, what's up, Adrian and Mike? World heavyweight champion here, Broman Williams. He's a champ now. I don't know how, but maybe he fought Mike Tyson, too.
He definitely
I bet he beat Mike Tyson.
Oh, absolutely.
I want to congratulate you guys on your 83rd episode. Thank you. 83 holds a place in my heart because it's the year the world heavyweight champion was born. So I guess he was born in 83. I'm literally so glad I found y'all on TikTok. I haven't looked back since. 2 things I look forward to Mondays: Monday Night Raw and Only Fucking Comics. We should call ourselves Only Fucking Comics.
There you go.
Language.
Keep up the good work. Well, we're going to keep it up.
We're going to keep it up.
And I just shout out, dude, I'm a big WWE fan. I haven't watched a lot of Raw lately because I'm big in football. When I like to lose money on football every week. It's my new thing. So anyway,
And apparently boxing.
Yeah, boxing too. No, I put money on Jake Paul. Yeah, dude. As much as I almost got duped, but I'm like, no, dude. There's no way. 50-year-old guy is going to beat it. And as someone that has boxed I know what it's like to be in the ring, and I know what it's like to feel 38. Yeah. So I know what 38 feels like. I can imagine what 58 feels like.
Yep.
So
got it.
No more. But honestly, from
I'll let you know in a couple of years.
Yeah, you let me know if you feel like boxing a 27-year-old.
No boxing.
I'll say this though, from a give you an alternate perspective. The fact that Mike Tyson, at 58 years old, a guy who I almost died a few months ago, had some really major health issues, got to the point where he could stand in the ring for 8 rounds with, for however you feel about Jake Paul, he's an athlete. Right. No, he's not. He ain't no Floyd Mayweather, but he's an athlete, respectable boxer when he fights these elderly guys, sure. Right. But to stand in there for 8 rounds and walk out, that's an accomplishment, dude.
Yeah.
I love, like, how many 58-year-olds can't get off their fucking couch?
Right.
So I kudos, cheers to Tyson.
Absolutely.
And Jake Paul, I would say this, I believe he was holding back. I think after the 3rd round, he could have knocked Tyson out whenever he wanted to. So I definitely respect Jake for what and this was, at the end of the day, this is business. Yep. Jake Paul made $40 million just to show up. Tyson made $20 million. I'm sure Jake made more with the win or whatnot, but this was a massive, I got a lot of eyes on boxing. Right. I mean, when's the last time you saw a women's fight? I can't even tell you that one was.
Dude, that was brutal. Yeah. I'm still pissed about how it turned out. I'm sure she's pissed about it too, like 2 times. Dude.
Correct.
And they're talking about, there's a 3rd. I'm not gonna fight.
I'm with her trainer, like, dude, no, there's a 3rd, not with this bullshit. Right. But yeah, I want to see another Amanda Serrano fight. Like, she's a beast, dude. Absolutely. So we got eyes on the sport that haven't been there in a long time. So kudos to Tyson, Jake Paul, everybody involved. I mean, I think it was great for the sport of boxing.
It was good entertainment.
It was. And I think that's where the last thing I'll say is boxing is venturing into the world of WWE. Yes. It wasn't predetermined, but they wore 14-ounce gloves. They were 2-minute rounds, so nobody got tired. Right. Jake Paul was obviously holding back. He could have knocked him out. Right. And it made for a big spectacle. Everybody made money. It was entertaining. You may be upset, but you're still entertained. Right. So I think it's venturing more into that, that show business. Sure. Which maybe it needs to, Hey. But everything can't be as entertaining as Only Comics. Or as Broman Williams said, Only Fucking Comics. That's right. Adrian, thanks for coming out. Absolutely, man. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Subscribe, share this, like this, do whatever. Play it on a projector so your neighbor gets pissed off. I don't know. Find the guy that was saying our rumors are bad and terrorize him. No, maybe don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leave him alone. But I appreciate all the comments, the good ones, the bad ones, the stupid ones. We appreciate all the feedback. Go to onlycomicsmerch.com, support the show, and we will see you next week right here on Only Comics. Peace.